Um,
But maybe you don't want to mention real names if you're streaming.
yeah, I, I
Too
know.
late.
Like, I'm not. Yeah, part of the problem is I don't even know if that's correct though.
Anyway.
The point is the interaction that I had, which made me realize something was incredibly funny, which is that I'm really good at talking to other people's girlfriends,
Right.
which it seems like an incredibly weird statement to make. But like, what I realized is that this is the point. Like, once I realized that somebody's off the market, it's like I'm not trying to impress them, of course. Like,
Yeah.
also there's also how people in relationship also tend to have a level of confidence that makes conversations easier to have.
Yeah.
This is like, while you're single, you're gonna have so many awkward interactions that you just have to fucking embrace it. Like, it's just going to happen.
Yeah. Because,
And it's gonna go both ways. Both of you are gonna be nervous. Both of you are gonna fuck up. And like, I think this is part of why people tend to be attracted to other people in relationships, is because they have that confidence that you're hoping to find in somebody else. But you just have to give those people the chance to develop it.
Yeah. And it's because I definitely realized it's like, so the person, like yesterday, it was like I'd never really had a proper conversation with her, and then it was like, turns out that we both like really like each other, but then like things just went like really fast, and like physically, and then it was like, because I like her so much, it's like, it's just kind of just super nervous, like I couldn't concentrate, and it's like it's just rushing things like crazy, and it's like, whereas before, or say there's been other people where it's like, I don't really sort of fancy them that much, and so like I'm not I don't care about impressing them, or you know, that kind of stuff. So I just kind of, I'm myself, completely fine, relaxed, whatever.
Yep.
And like, but like realizing in the past where it's like people that I've really liked, but things have gone well, is when it's been like slow, like 2, 3, 4 dates, kind of lots of time just like chatting, sort of getting over the kind of like just getting to know each other, sort of understanding each other's sense of humor and likes and personality. So like, not, I don't feel like I'm on edge, sort of trying to balance, sort of impressing them, hiding things about myself, or like being perceived certain ways. And so,
Okay,
but then
how to put this? This is almost something you should meditate on, which, well,
what do you mean meditate on?
Sorry, like I didn't actually mention the point that you need to meditate on. Like, something that people need to realize is that the cheesy shit that people say in shows, which is just be yourself, is like really important, but I want to put it in a more specific way that's actually more helpful. You need to get to the point where you're comfortable in the relationship as soon as possible. So you might as well like act comfortable from the very beginning, or the way that you're comfortable. And all sort of concessions can just come later. But like, if you can't ever reach that level of comfort, like, it's not going to last.
It's not so much that issue. It's more that like, it's more like I'm like rushing things, or like I'm not capable of, or I haven't had the mindset to sort of, like I was saying before, like just taking opportunities when they appear. So say like I meet someone, they really like me, and then it goes like really quickly. Like, because I know myself that like I find it hard being comfortable around them until I know them. Like, I should be the one to slow it down. You know what I mean? So that, like,
okay,
when I feel comfortable.
Is there anything you can do to be comfortable? Okay.
Well, it's
like my point was that it helps to.
It's hard to just be comfortable.
I know, but like, you're probably comfortable now. It's like, what does that feel like? How are you acting? Like,
yeah, but then it's
like, well, I'm not saying that it's easy or anything. It's just like, you have a certain state in which you are comfortable usually. Like your state of normal should be comfortable. If your state of normal is not comfortable, you got bigger issues than your relationship. So you should have some sort of understanding of what it is that you're trying to get out of it, or
But I feel like I could, like me like realizing, like, or being able to like identify within myself, like when I'm feeling not comfortable or comfortable is like, so like going into situations in the future, like from a point of view, not like being able to like identify within myself when I'm comfortable. So like,
shit, sorry, something's happening here. What the fuck is...
I'm watching a stream, but you're just jumping around. Oh, cutscene.
No, yeah. What's over there? It's magnificent. Yeah, what the fuck? None of our traveler Paimon. No, that is the Varu Nostra. But the Varuna contraption is in a deeper place, somewhere as deep as... Why the fuck did this happen? We've underestimated the Nara Varuna.
It's a game.
I think this, it would be this big. Such power is not to be underestimated. I know, right? Before the Black Rain and before Nara Varuna came to...
I don't know the way you said that, but okay, carry on.
The Black Rain?
Yeah.
Armakunda and the Greater Lord Rukadavada created the Varuna contraption. Rain gave life to many things. Black Rain, the many other bad things made a mess of Anna. Before he came, Arapandu had never seen such a brave Nara. He fixed the machine together with Aranara, just like the sun driving away the sleepy fog. Nara Varuna is no longer in Vanarana. Armakunda is no longer in Vanarana. But Aranara must fix the Varuna contraption again for Festival Tsava and Vana. We promised Raja and Arama to help prepare for the Festival Tsava. As they say, the fire is bigger and stronger when more Nara help pick firewood, right? Eek. No. Parliament, everything will go smoothly with more Nara helping out. Don't be afraid, it has nothing to do with fire. Not related at all. Paimon, you're about smarted yourself
bitch.
Again.
Talking about herself.
And it's all about her, okay? This is the adventures of Paimon. This is not fucking
Can you not
Genshin
like
Impact.
change your fucking companion? You have to have Paimon.
No, I wish I could change my main character.
Christ.
Dude, do you not think I would if I had a choice? Anyway, come on. We're here in Sumeria, you know. Paimon just wanted to... But it helps mitigate it when I use my fucking goon gangster voice, where she sounds like a henchman. We're here in Sumeria, you know. Paimon just wanted to show everyone that she knows lots of stuff too. Huh?
Sumeria's a place in fucking Conan, I think.
Okay, Sumeru was an ancient kingdom in like between the Middle East and India. It was like fucking huge. It's like where language originated from almost. But for some reason, this place is called Sumeria. Like you've heard Sumerian about the Sumerian language, right?
I'm thinking of Sumeria with a C.
Sure. Can I continue, Isaac? So we can get to your...
Do you have to? Hurry up.
Arapandu is not scared. Paimon is a good heart, just like Nara traveler. No, Paimon is a friend of Aranara. Aranakula, Arabalika,
Paimon doesn't have
Arakanti. Arakanti, I like that one.
Paimon doesn't deserve friends.
Listen, she's a parasite. She's attached to me. Like, if I'd pop her like a zit gun. And Arapandu want to heal the Varuna contraption, but there are too many spores and fungi, so we can't do it. Arapandu doesn't have a powerful Arakalari like Arabalika. These names are fucking insane. You have no idea how, like, my brain is sweating. It's like dripping through my ears. It is fucking insane.
So do you need any more fucking, what'd you call it? Exposition.
Yes, of course. And the strange rain made the fungi fiercer. Isaac, listen, we got a mushroom infection here. It's a yeast infection. It's a bit of a problem. We'll fix it eventually. That's why I'm going into the hole to fix the yeast infection. Hold on. Arana told Paimon that it can be used to repel Marana, which I call Maranara most of the time. It's very saucy. Powerful Arakalari can drive away fungi. Arapandu's Arakalari is weak. Can't do anything to fungi. What? Arakalari can be used that way? I think Dave disappeared and gave up.
It was because you just go off on fucking Paimon bullshit.
Well,
He doesn't want to join. Yeah. He's pretty tired, isn't he? He has to work unlike us.
Yeah. But it's like, he could say goodbye, but he doesn't do that.
Doesn't want to. Well, he doesn't he doesn't need to, does he?
Yeah.
Like, just slightly, isn't it? We get it. We get how annoying you are.
Thanks, Isaac.
Ta-da.
Arakalari. It should be the general name for a certain type of ability. No, Traveler is smarter than Paimon.
Yeah.
Different Aranara have different Arakalari. But all Aranara gain the power to use it from the plant savannah. Arbalika's Arakalari. This is insane. It's actually Arara Kalari, but I can't fucking get through that many R's. It's very powerful. Not afraid of large fungi and large Aranara. Large Aranara? Oh, they were giant mechs here, Isaac. And apparently, we're going to be able to run it. I'm looking forward to that. Large Aranara are very big. Have 2 arms, 2 legs like Nara Trailer, but only have 1 eye. Yep, Cyclopean. Oh, you're talking about the Rune Guards. Very pretty clever, Paimon. Oh, you solved it all by yourself. Don't. Oh. It's like having an actual 4-year-old with me. Why the fuck?
Like, is this fucking not over yet? Jesus Christ.
I know!
How much exposition do you need? Come on.
It's completely pointless as well.
It's like I hate this about fucking a lot of, like, anime games.
Yeah.
Well, anime in general. Like, just like...
Yeah, sometimes they're just
like,
bombarded with information. So this isn't...
Christ.
Not to mention, your world isn't that interesting.
Yeah.
Like,
it's like they just name drop a million different things. You never remember them. So it's like, what's the point?
Like, it's the fucking midichlorian issue that we've talked about before. It's like, this isn't relevant to the core of the game. Get around it if you can't do it good. Anyway, there are fungi on the trees over there, and Arbalika can't defeat them, but Arapandu can't. Nor Traveler not afraid of fungi either. You do use Arakalari, but you are very powerful. Destroy them! Like strong gust blowing away thy leaf. Whoosh! Sure, let me go whoosh. Just leave the conversation, please. If not dealt with, spores and fungi will multiply, Traveler. Oh no. The yeast infection is gonna spread. Leave them to us. Did somebody have sex with the ground in order to create this STD? No, Traveler should be able to deal with them in an instant, right? Sure. If you could just let me finish the fucking conversation, it'd be over by now. Wait, they're on those two? Really? Okay. Okay, where the fuck did we leave off? I think you talked about... We were talking about, like, what you feel like you're trying to get out of the relationship and, like, when you're comfortable, when you aren't. I think you moved on slightly from there, but...
I know what's it. So like, the main thing is, like, I can identify when I'm feeling uncomfortable, right? Or, like...
Sorry, you can or can't?
I can.
Yeah.
So, like...
But in the moment or in retrospect? Or
kind of. Well, yeah, like, in the moment I kind of knew that I was uncomfortable.
It doesn't necessarily mean you know what to do with it, though, is the main problem.
Say again?
Just because you know how you feel doesn't mean you know how to deal with it, is what I said.
Yeah, okay. Right, but then, so, it's like, I know that it's like, I can't be myself when I'm uncomfortable, right?
Time to go.
Well, like, my point is that you're comfortable when you are yourself and vice versa. Which is why I use comfort as the actual gauge as to whether or not you're quote-unquote being yourself.
Right. So that's... Okay, so maybe... Right, so I'm uncomfortable because I'm not being myself, right? So, like, I can figure that out, right? So it's like, say I'm uncomfortable, I must not be being myself, right?
Sure.
So then I should take steps to fix that, right?
Sure.
But then the issue comes in where it's like the reason I'm uncomfortable is because I'm not being myself, but I'm not being myself because I'm trying to step out of my comfort zone to like figure things
Yeah,
out.
that's a problem. But like basically the question is it worth it? And the answer should be no. Is like
Right.
the conclusion
Yeah.
that I'm driving you towards.
Yeah. So that's like kind of
If you can't be comfortable with them, like as a okay, you want something from them, but you're losing your comfort, and you should get to
Yeah.
the comfort,
Right.
and you probably won't lose the other thing.
yeah. So that's what I'm so what I should have done is like say I know that being myself is like I like to like know somebody and like have
Understand
more of
them.
like a rapport with someone, understand them, and be able to like joke around with them and sort of enjoy their company and things. So
Human
like
interaction, yes.
yeah, like I can feel like I can be myself around them, and so because like I couldn't do that, I should have tried to like direct things in a way where that is happening. Like I'm getting to know them better, or I can be myself in that situation, right?
I think you just need to repeat that.
So, say like I've realized that I'm uncomfortable because I can't be myself, right?
Yeah.
So I should try and lead things in a direction where I can be myself and like be more comfortable.
Yeah.
Right. So, but basically I didn't do that. I just kind of kept going with the sort of uncomfortableness because
But what does that mean
Yeah.
in like practical terms? Like, well, I'm sure.
Well, no, what I'm getting
need
to
you
is
go into specific, but
like what I'm getting to is this like I
you.
I shouldn't like I'm not used to having to like stop myself or like slow things down or like kind of because I'm so used to focusing on like overthinking and thinking about the other person.
Yeah.
I don't consider my own like feelings or
Oh, yeah, you need to
situation
juggle
or
both.
level of comfort. Right, so it's like juggling both. But it was a case of like almost like I completely disregarded my own thinking. It was like
Yeah.
I was sort of
It's easier
on
for people
autopilot.
to do that, and
Yeah.
they're also like, how to put this?
Clear weather
It's
all
like
around,
it's
can't
a matter of misprioritization a lot of the time, where you're so concerned about how the other person feels that you neglect yourself, and
Yeah.
that dynamic tends to get fucked. And the conclusion should be that you both need to be comfortable, so you shouldn't be neglecting yourself.
Yeah. So that kind of, but that's what I'm saying. Like me going to these kind of like singles events and things. It's like because of the environment they are. It's like it's so easy to, or I find it's easy for me to like
But forget.
quickly get into situations where I'm uncomfortable. So it's like realizing that because before, like it was more that I just didn't get into these situations because it's like as I'm getting more comfortable at these places and like going to events and things, it's like I can open myself up more quicker, right? But then that leads to like say I start connecting with people better. If they're the type of person who's like a lot sort of easy, they're
More easy
a lot
going.
more forward me. Yeah, like they're like faster than me, I guess. I don't know, getting to certain places in a relationship, like
Okay,
physical.
so give me a second to think. I feel like we're looping a bit, and I'm wondering if I can clear
Yeah.
something up. Um, like, basically, you just need to treat them like almost any other person, like or how
Yeah.
you'd want to treat somebody if you're like 20 years into the relationship, because that's the goal. that's something that they'd have to get used to almost in order for this
then,
to work. Like,
like-
if they're not willing to do that, then it's probably not going to work. Although
But then, yeah.
I know the argument is that you need to get them to that point, but chances are that you're not going to scare them out of that by behaving more like that. Unless the goal for you is like fucking domestic abuse, then like moving ahead with your behavior isn't gonna have any long-term consequences or even negative ones at all.
It's like I don't think there's a point where say for example, like for me, there's a certain degree to which it's like the time it takes to like get to know somebody, right? So say for example, like 3 dates, right? Like it's a generalization. It's like you can get to know someone on like that comfort level, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't feel as though maybe, but like I don't think it's possible to like there could be someone where like within an hour I'm at that level. You know what I mean?
What do you? I
So,
try to treat everyone as soon as I meet them how I would want the relationship to be almost from the beginning. Like it's always like, of course, I'm not always successful at that, but that's like what I try to do.
yeah, but like say, could you like? But then how quickly do you think you could like get physical with somebody?
Hard for me to gauge. Like I have a very passive interest in relationships. Like if it happens, that's great, but I'm not even actively pursuing it. I don't care enough.
That's kind of what I mean. So it's like for me, it's like
It's like it's like you basically need my mentality. Is like the irony of it.
But like, okay, from my point of view, it's like the kind of like my comfort level with somebody is usually based on my like understanding and sort of knowing them, right? And so usually to get to know someone, it's about like conversation, isn't it? It's like, you know, chatting.
Yeah.
And it's like, so the amount of time it takes to like speak with somebody to get to know them is like, you know, however many hours, I don't know, 10 hours, I don't know, whatever. Like not get to know them completely, but like to a certain level, right? And so like, from my own like experience, like when I can feel like comfortable progressing things like physically is
But is the physicality aspect that important? Like I'm also confused why we're putting a focus on that.
No, it's not. Well, only based on the situation. I'm just like comparing it to the situation I had yesterday, where it was like, I'm saying that I have this like, say for example, it's like I need 10 hours of like getting like chatting with somebody to feel like comfortable being physical with them as a baseline, right?
Okay.
Like, but with this person, I'd spoken to them for like an hour, 2 hours.
Okay.
And it's like I didn't kind of realize sort of how much of an issue it is for me, like because in your brain you think
the build up to the physicality.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like the sort of build up to the physicality. It's like all kind of understanding, like reading each other, because
Yeah.
when you're doing physical things, it's like
I think I told you this, but I think like I feel like directness is important. I value it a lot. I think I've told you this, and
yeah,
I think I've also told you that I feel like there's a lot of things you can get away with if you just like if you're blunt with a smile. Like you try to be as clear as possible, but you try to make sure that there's no ill intention behind it.
yeah.
And I think that applies even to this situation. Like, I feel like you can get away with straight up like just asking, like, are you comfortable moving towards sex, and just like just getting a straight up answer, and then like not making a bigger deal out of it.
But then but like it's not. They wouldn't. It's like, for me, from my point of view, it'd be almost like,
Yeah.
are you okay with not doing it?
Well, then I feel
You know
like
what I mean?
that's fair too. It's
Yeah.
just that,
Taking a stroll in the
although,
middle of
like,
the downpour
depending on the person you're talking to
But it's
and
best to
like
dry your clothes as soon as
how
possible
the situation is, that much require more preamble. Whereas, like, it's not that I'm disinterested in you. It's just
Yeah, like exactly.
yeah.
But it's almost like this, like realization for me is almost like it's kind of only really come from this experience. So it's like it's, or it's like I've known where it's like I've had better physical experiences with people I'm more comfortable with, but it's not. It's usually because most relationships I have aren't super like casual, like, so it's more like that. It's just happened that way, almost by accident, where it's like I take things slowly, and it's like the more classical like dating. And so, like
What's the difference?
realizing. So what I'm saying is, it's even though I kind of should have known this before, but based on my experience, or like I haven't had this issue before because most of
You've
my
had more casual
relationships
sexual
have all,
experience?
like fit. You know, I haven't really had experiences like that where it's like sort of chatting.
Where you felt attached enough to them for that for
Well,
it
it's
to
more.
matter.
It's
Oh. This is like
it's
what you're
more
describing, but
like imagine it's like you've like you've
you've
been
had sex, but
into.
you haven't cared about the person. Almost. That
No,
sounds
no,
like,
I'm trying to explain. Like,
Follow the
imagine, like, so say you're like at uni, right? And then you've, like, a friend of a friend, you kind of see them hanging around your other friend, but you've never really spoken to them, right? Or like a few words or whatever here and there. And then, like, you go to like a party and you get chatting, and like, she's like, oh, I really like you a lot. And like, I've liked you for a while. And then, like, you're like, oh yeah, I've liked you as well. And it's like, or you kind of, yeah. And so you're sort of, it's like shock, and like, you don't know what's going on. And it's like, you're sort of, you're happy about it, but then you're
you
sort of,
don't know what to do about it.
yeah, you don't really know the person. It's like, it's very sort of
Oh yeah,
quick.
that's like the typical high school crush scenario where
But then it's
the
like,
sequel have been like, but it's like it's really funny because
it's like the situation
fact
you're
that
in.
you don't even know each other. It's like the fucking
Yeah.
basis for a relationship is like absolute nonsense. It's just you're just revealing that like you have a superficial interest in each other. Like it's not even that
Yeah.
deep, honestly.
And it's like, because you're at this like fun party and you're like drinking and like everyone's having a good time and expectations, and like you have the opportunity to like go into another room and like make out and do stuff, right? It's like,
You feel tempted? What?
yeah, you're like tempted,
pressured?
and
Those are
I
two
don't
different
know.
things. Like it could be
Pressure,
one or the
yeah,
other.
like it's almost like a weird. It's like
Pressure
I'm
would
like,
fit. Like
it's like I'm pressuring myself. That's what it
Yeah.
feels like. It's like there's opportunities here, and I should take it. And I just like push
Careful.
myself.
That-
I just
that
push
can
myself
move
into
into-
it.
Yeah, like that phrasing can move into the realm of the predatory. Be careful with phrasing.
Yeah, no, but, you know,
I have an opportunity to pounce.
yeah. But then it's like, so I take it, and it's like realizing that this
What,
is
it's
like
shallow?
totally,
What?
yeah, it's like shallow, and it's like a lot of my issues again, because I like overthink and worry about the other person. It's like usually because I know someone a lot more before I like get physical with them. It's like I don't know this person, or like what they like, or what
Yeah.
get turns them on, or what they're
Yeah,
interested
so
in. Like,
this is where, depending which mentality you have, like this can damage the relationship sometimes for people.
yeah,
But like,
that's what it feels like to
how
happen,
to put
basically.
it? Like, it's usually because you're worried about the other person, and then after you have sex, it feels like they're lying to you about the experience. I think that's what causes it.
Yeah.
But for other people, and I think this is the healthier mentality to have, and that's usually what happens when you have more mature people, is that they can have casual sex because sex can be a way of exploring a different side of the other person. Like you can get to know them on a different level through the sex that you have.
Then, for me, it was like
It's a very direct way of doing it, but
yeah. But then it felt like we didn't really discuss anything, and it was like we're like getting physical, and it's like
I can't get hard. Everything's turned to shit.
it's more just like kind of.
I'm having cold sweat. Fuck.
It's just not into it because say like it felt like
Say like me.
all I was trying to do was just sort of remember things she said, what she liked, or like, and then there was a bit where she's being more like forceful and like she's kind of like biting my lip, and it's like
Again, like that.
it's not hot. It's like it's just painful. Like I've got a cut on my lips now, like it's like bitten inside basically. Like
Yeah, I would just go. Don't.
like that's it. It's like all I could think was like, this hurts.
Why? Yeah.
And what am I doing? And like, I don't know what's going on. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah, like I wonder if I'd had the wherewithal. Like I said, I have a general attitude, but it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm successful at doing what I'm aiming to do.
Brings a smile
But like,
to my
what I would like to do in this situation is just like, I think we need to talk about what we think is sexy because we're clearly not on the same page.
yeah. But then that's almost like that kind of is what happened. It's like we stopped, and it's like I was like, it wasn't really working. I was like, I think this is too fast. Like, I'm like too nervous and stuff, and I don't know what's like. It doesn't feel right.
Okay.
And this is where the issue comes because like she was like,
Yeah,
that's fine. You don't have to worry.
And be careful with like phrasing like that. Like this doesn't feel right. Like that could be interpreted in too many ways. For that.
But I didn't actually say that. All I said was like,
Okay.
I'm nervous. This is too fast for me, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And like she seemed, yeah, that's fine. Like it's fine. We don't have to do anything. And it's like,
Isaac, you're doing the thing that you have problems with other people doing. Like you weren't honest about the situation.
no, but I was at the end.
Like,
I only realized I wasn't enjoying it like towards the end. So it's like, but I said
saying,
that. I'm like, yeah.
Wait, did you address the lip shit? Like it seems like you just
No.
let that slide. Yeah.
Because that was, but that was only like part of. It wasn't like that was the only issue. It was like for things like that was just the one piece. Like because this is the issue I'm saying. It's like, so we stopped doing it and it seemed fine and like she understood or she said she understood, and then like I said like I still like you. Yeah, I still like you. You still like me. Yeah, it's like kind of.
But now it's awkward. Oh.
No, it was like kind of. Then she just sort of avoided me for the whole rest of the party, and then I sent her a message and she just ignores it. So it's like like I don't know what to think in a sense. It's like she was just trying to be nice and she's not into it anymore and she just doesn't want to, do anything else with me. Well, that's fine, right? If she's not interested in me anymore, whatever. Like, okay, I get it. But like, she won't even say it. You know what I mean? She won't even reply. So it's like,
Yeah, I hate the cut of communication. Like people have bad instincts when it comes to this. Like I've been meaning to be better about it myself. Like I want to be able to deal with this shit when it's more convenient for me, depending on what it is. But I still need to like leave a message that I'm willing to address it later. Otherwise, I'm just leaving the other guy hanging. It fucking sucks.
yeah, it's like, yeah, it's like I always try and I'm like a lot better now at sort of stating my own thinking and like sort of trying to keep communication open. I think I've always been quite good at that, and it's just like
wow, Isaac, you're so talented.
But then the other problem I have is like I'm trying like
What does it sound
not
like
to
you're
think
talking
about
into
it.
a cup?
Does it? My hand was near my mic. Sorry.
Yeah, like you were doing some
I was
weird
like
shit.
cupping it. So okay,
Yeah.
yeah. But then it's like it's hard for me like not to like reassess and think, like trying to figure out what the problem is, like on her side. You know what I mean? Like I'm trying to like figure out why she's behaving the way she is. And it's like, so my mind's just going in loads of different tangents. Like, oh, maybe I did something wrong, or she hated me. It looks like she's lying. Or she does like me, but then she's too shy. Or, like, so I'm just kind of, my brain just like exploding with like fucking like
Possibilities.
questioning myself and possibilities and like going over everything and like,
Sure.
is there still an opportunity for us, or is she still interested? Because she seemed like she really liked me, and then now she's just like completely cut me off. Like, she said to me before we like did anything, it was like, yeah, I really liked you. Like I've liked you for like weeks. Like
Sorry, when you said like, I thought she was gonna say like I like my brother. I was like, oh.
I like you like a son. It's like what?
But, you're younger than me. What is happening?
Yeah, like it was. So she basically like had a crush on me, right? And it was like she liked me, and then she says the reason I
Isaac,
like
you got the
you.
height advantage. Everybody looks up to you.
Well, no, but like she said, the reason I like you is because you're nice. It's like
Oh,
you're because we had spoken at like another like event or whatever,
you've
like just
spoken.
chat like outside chatting, like friendly kind of. I spoke to her as if like the way you were saying like you should speak to someone. It's just like I was like completely comfortable talking to her, right?
Yeah, the thing
Because
that's funny about that is that can change later, and they're just like, what the fuck's happening?
yeah, like so
Why am I getting
what
worse at this?
yeah, like what I was talking to her before about was like how I overthink things.
No.
And like she's like, oh, have you played with like have you kind of hooked up with anyone, or have you like sort of like met anyone you like here, or chatted to someone you fancy or whatever, and like
Isaac?
just normal stuff.
I'm sorry. Like, you just need to remember everything you need to say, because I need to run to the bathroom. Either that, or we can just call it a day here. I'm sure how late it is.
No, I can keep
Sure.
chatting.
Okay, right back.
It's my stream now. Hey everyone, all my one viewers. This is my stream. Genshin Impact is shit. Paimon is a bitch. Yeah, I don't get what all these fucking items are. Why is there loads of the same thing? I tried Genshin before, it was shit. Yeah. This fucking guy, she needs to hurry up. Fucking always leaving the toilet or some bullshit in the middle of a conversation. And I can just sit here and not fucking need the toilet for like 5 hours. What a joke. Comment below if you think my voice is better than his. This fucking guy. Fucking hurry up.
Hey, Weeb. You
Huh?
still there?
Yeah. I took over your stream. She left me
The
on.
epic hacker known as 4chan strikes once again.
I was just saying like Genshin shit.
Hmm?
I was just saying Genshin was shit, basically.
God damn, there goes all my viewers.
Hmm.
All 0 of them. There you go.
What was I saying?
I told you to keep track of that because you were in the middle of the sentence. I didn't know which 2 points you were going between.
Oh, it was like when I'd spoken to her before.
Mm-hmm.
it was like I was just sort of I was talking about almost like these same things I'm talking to you now,
Mhm.
um, like nervous or shy, and I'm just kind of I don't usually do like go to places like this or sort of chat people up or like what I mean, like I just sort of talk to people and then maybe get numbers and then go for dates and things. I'm not usually someone who's like
Mm.
good at sort of progressing physical things really fast. And then she told me that like that from that day, which was like weeks ago, she said that she liked me. Like
Oh,
from that point, it's like yeah, she said from that point is when she like started liking me.
that's the gayest thing I've ever heard. You're made for each other.
Yeah, right. And like, and she said because I'm like really nice, and I'm because I am quite friendly and
Because I'm quite nice. Oh, look at you.
yeah.
Tooting your own horn.
But then it's like, so it came across to me that it's like
Mhm.
she's not just interested in me, like just
She's
as
only
like
after your body. So just be
casual
careful.
hookup or whatever, right? So it's like, so it
Oh,
feels weird. It feels odd to me that like she's just kind of ignoring me, just sort of ghosting me, basically, just kind of
when she's given you so many indicators of interest.
yeah. Well, but not just interest in some. It's like more than just like some sort of like
Fine, she's
casual
not
thing.
interested. You happy now?
It's like yeah, so it's like it's more something more than casual. Like it seemed like she
No.
was kind of understanding and like me and like talking to me, and so
And
it's
now you
just
think she's just a bitch.
no, it's just I just want to know what she's thinking, right? Or like
Hey,
because it was like after
I
we
guess I just give her the opportunity
yeah,
to. It might be.
and it's kind of weird. Yeah, it's like so
She might
like
not feel like
yesterday.
she's had enough time to do it.
Yeah, because we were at like a party. It's like she kind of after we sort of talked and stuff. Like
Mhm.
she kind of not ignored me, but like maybe avoided me or something. Or like I don't know. It felt like that because like she walked past me a few times and like I waved at her and she kind of just smiled or whatever. Like she just it felt like she was ignoring me. And then again messaging her this morning and then like nothing. It just kind of feels bad. Like
Yeah, of course.
my own. It's like I'm trying not to assume things.
Yeah.
It's just like it's like I'm trying to like figure out what I can from my own point. Like focus on like my own like how I felt and what I liked or what the
Yeah.
experience was for me, and like go from there. But it's just kind of annoying not having.
Well, yeah, the ball's in her court. What are you gonna do? Run over to hers?
Yeah, right, exactly. So yeah, and like that's fine. But it just seemed like because I liked her. Like she seemed to like me, but I guess not. So.
Not enough to reply anyway. Ah, well.
But it's weird because so like yesterday it was like busy party, and she had drunk. I think she drunk a bit. So it's like,
Okay.
but then today she's like at a huge like. There's like Notting Hill Carnival in London, which is like a massive like 2 day.
Orgy.
Like they take over like the whole of like a huge part of London. It's just like street carnival, like insane, like all day you're out basically. So
Sounds
like
fun.
my best thinking is like she's just kind of
Doing that.
yeah, she's enjoying herself or kind of doesn't want to reply or until she's
But
thought about it or whatever. But
remind me, what was the context? She was waving at you when she was
no,
waving at
I
you.
waved at
No,
her.
you were at her. Yeah.
Well, like so say like we're at the party
Mhm.
and like I'm chatting to someone else or just
Mhm.
with my friends or whatever, and she like walks past and she's like going to get a drink or chatting with someone else or like going to the dance floor or something. Like
Mhm.
so I'd like wave and then she'd just kind of look at me, sort of smile, but like in a way where it's like she can't she has to acknowledge me because she knows I've seen her see me. but like to a point where she's not trying to like come and talk to me or anything.
Someone's talking behind your back and calling you Casanova.
I just don't get it. But it's like we have similar friends, so it's like
He can't avoid you.
yeah, in a kind of weird way. Like it's not like best friends, it's just kind of like if you went to a sports club and everyone was kind of friends with each other, but you're not like you don't
Friendly, not friends.
you only sort of meet at that sports club. You don't know where each other live, and you don't know where they work or anything like that. It's just kind of
Isn't there a better term for that?
acquaintances.
Acquaintances, yeah.
That's kind of what it is. So it's like, okay,
I was like,
so I
why the
probably
fuck am I
will
thinking
see her again.
companionship?
But,
Doesn't even make sense.
yeah,
Sorry, yeah.
but so like, and this all happened literally like 24 hours ago. So
She's doing it to fuck with you.
So it's like I'm probably just like maybe she will reply. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're getting out of yourself.
Yeah. But then that I think that's enough. Like I think my main takeaways from this are like I'm better at recognizing or understanding sort of like my own feelings in the moment.
Sure.
Like level of comfort.
Would you have this
discomfort.
expectation for someone else, by the way?
What expectation? What do you mean? Like
are
replying?
Are you expecting her to reply faster because you like her so much, or would you have this expectation for most people? Like, how reasonable is this expectation? Because it could be a case of you caring too much, therefore the time it takes seems to fucking take way longer than... It's like a microwave minute.
Yeah. Yeah, it's probably a mixture. Well, because it's like there are other people that I chat to. Like, for example, there's someone else I messaged at the same time, or like around the same time as I messaged her, and they still haven't replied either. But
they're talking to each other, Isaac.
they didn't know each other. Like, she has like a history. Like, she doesn't reply quickly, regardless. Anyway, it's like normal for her to not reply.
But does anybody
for like a
else
day.
know about your relationships?
What do you mean?
I mean,
Like, to answer your question, like, it's like I don't know her enough to know if like her replying this slowly is not normal behavior for her.
Sure. I mean,
So
that
it could just be.
What I was actually
I know,
asking.
but it's like that's my point of view. So it's like because I don't know what her normal response is.
Sure.
Then I'm just guessing based on like an average. Like usually people reply within the same day or like a few hours or after work or something. But
I was attacking the problem from the other end, like whether or not your expectations are what's unreasonable.
Well, that's it. It's like I've tried like my expectations.
Because everything else I can't like interact with. Like I don't know her either. So.
Yeah. So like my expectation would be like usually for most people, like on average based on experience and things, is like reply like the same day.
Okay.
At least, right? But because I know she'd be like had a really busy day, right? And she's been out and like you know what I mean? So it's like I'm trying not to kind of that expectation of thinking she should reply today is kind of like loose, you know what I mean? Yeah. I understand that. So it's like but if it's like it becomes like a week, then it's like it's like I can understand she just doesn't want to talk to me. Like, okay, fine. Like I get it's like it's a clear picture, right? But like until that point, it's like you're in this sort of vague area. And it's kind of odd that I felt she may be sort of mature. Like, well, if she doesn't reply for like a week, and she just doesn't reply, But then also because I know her, and like she knows we're probably going to see each other again in person, like almost definitely.
Behavior does make sense, yeah.
Yeah, because it's like.
What are you gonna do? Keep running away forever?
Yeah. So like, yeah. So it's kind of like, she's just hoping that when we do meet each other again, I've just like understood
she's
that
put a
she's
hit
not
on it.
interested.
No, possible.
Yeah, she'll just know I won't bring it up because I know.
You're too much of a pussy.
Yeah, she just like it's like unwritten.
You're relying
you know,
heavily
just
on that,
like-
huh?
Yeah. Oh, that's what she's relying. Like, you know what I mean? Would rely on.
I mean,
Or maybe she'll just deal with it. I'll just ask her and she'll
that is
like,
incredibly
talk about it.
immature, yeah.
But that's just like, I don't want to paint her that way in my
Of
head
course not.
because obviously it's only been 24 hours. So it's like, yeah. So I'm just like back and forth.
It's always really hard to be aware of what influences your emotions and decisions. It's like I never like it could be that I'm an exception to the rule, but that doesn't make sense to me. But I've never felt like I've let stupid shit influence my decision in a significant way. Where it's like I'm able to juggle sort of like multiple conflicting states of mind or conclusions at the same time. Whereas like I know that both of these things are possible, but I'm not gonna let them like. I'm not going to treat them as conclusions. I'm just going to treat them as possibilities.
But
a lot of people seem to have to operate on having conclusions. And I mean, that's technically true for me too. It's just that I know when I have to make a conclusion or I know which way I should lean. If if the choice is binary, I know which way I should lean, but I know that the other one is still a possibility.
to me, it's like one of the other, like, the main thing I feel in these situations is like I can't get the thing out of my head. It's like the question.
No.
Like the questions, it's like they just dominate my thinking.
It's
Which
been
is
a long
like
time
really
since I've been in
frustrating.
a situation like that, but yeah, I know what you're describing. I've had that shit myself.
Yeah. And I also have this weird, because like I
think
never, I
I've
didn't.
talked about this, but like, meditation, writing shit down, and
I think writing works for me.
what is it called? Like, going through some processes of cognitive behavioral therapy can help.
What do you mean?
Like,
What's cognitive behavioral therapy?
it's you're basically trying to control your flow of thoughts because some of it is like feels very automated but doesn't have to be, where if you can catch yourself going from one thought to the other, you can sort of like intercept and say, no, this isn't the correct conclusion, I should go for the other one. So every time you start thinking about, or every time you start getting where like what am I feeling?
like
Feeling
there's
anxiety.
something I
Why do I
forgot
feel
to do.
anxious? It's because I think she's ignoring me. What? I was like, is that a reasonable conclusion? No. I was like, she could be busy. That's what I should be thinking about instead. She's probably busy.
Yeah. That is
But it's
probably
like,
that is right. Yeah.
Like that's basically like cognitive behavioral therapy is like a very direct way of managing your emotions, basically, because it's the issue that we talked about earlier, where just knowing something rationally doesn't stabilize your emotional state. You need to convince yourself, which is why you do this sort of thinking.
Yeah.
Or
Give up.
I can technically do it for you. You tell me I'm worried about it, and I tell you it's fine. I reassure you. There you go.
Is that everything I say? It's just like it's fine.
Like, weirdly enough, I think that can help. Yeah, it's like, and I've been like mistreating that sort of like emotional aspect in my life and others, and I like look down on it and criticize others. It was like, just get your shit together. Like, don't fucking worry about these sort of things. You know, it's not rational. And but I think I've fucked myself out of a lot of tools that could have made my life easier if I didn't have this mentality. Just like, it's not good. Like, thinking you can rationalize your way out of anything. Well, it's technically true. You just need to know what the tools are. and this sort of like talking yourself through it, that's one of your tools, but it doesn't feel rational. But if your emotional state is an issue, you need to address it. So therefore, this is the rational course. But I've been seeing it as irrational, therefore I haven't been using it.
It was weird, like when I was
My tidy to
speaking to her,
courtyard,
like,
the tea
I was
on.
being quite honest with
It's
her, like
probably just my mind playing tricks on me.
saying, like, I'm nervous, or like you make me nervous, or like I'm like overthinking things, and she's just like, why? You shouldn't think that. And it's like, it felt
This myself.
like, it felt like, it's like if I tell you, it's like telling anyone, like
I never tell somebody I never tell somebody how they should. Well, maybe I do actually. I try not to.
that's kind of what it feels like, or like what you said before is like you shouldn't think like that. It's like,
Yeah.
but then it's like so then
Yeah,
like,
but like
my
how
feelings
you
aren't
feel and
valid
how
then.
you think, like how you feel and how you think aren't necessarily the same. Like I said, like I think that these things are irrational. That's what I think. But how I feel is like it's making me like I have a thought loop and I can't get out of it, and it's making me miserable. But what I think is this is stupid, and it's making me angry that I can't just deal with this. Know what I mean?
Insubordination.
It's just like, so it felt kind of strange. It was almost like her saying things like that, and like I was like feeling anxious and nervous, right? And like I was feeling uncomfortable, I guess. Not uncomfortable when like she's making me uncomfortable. I was just like, it's just like nervous, right?
Yeah.
And sort of like
General, it wasn't specific to her. Is what you're saying.
yeah, the
Ambient.
situation itself, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and so her saying, "Oh no, you should, like you're thinking too much, and you're kind of you
You're fucking
shouldn't
this up for yourself.
like you shouldn't sort of be feeling that way or whatever." Like, it almost feels like that made it worse for me. Like,
Yeah.
like trying to convince myself that it's not.
Do you feel that way with some of the things that I've been saying? Because I haven't picked up on that. Like,
The only thing
I don't try
with
to
what
be
you're
dismissive, but I don't know if that's...
Only what you're saying is like just the things where you say like like you might say like you shouldn't think in that way, but then you don't say like how you get to that point of not thinking like that.
Yeah, like, I know it's not really helpful saying that this is an incorrect way of thinking, because it's like, well, this is how I think. Like, what the fuck do you
You
want?
should climb that mountain. It's like, well, how do I climb the mountain?
Yeah, you're
Well, I
like,
don't know.
hey,
like the
have you
worst
just
teacher in the
tried
world.
have you just tried not being depressed? Like,
Yeah.
It's like, or like, hey, you're poor. Have you tried being rich? It's like, motherfucker, this isn't how this works.
It's like,
This
oh,
is
you got to like open this box. It's like, okay, how do you open? I'll just solve the puzzle.
Yes.
So, well, it's a really hard fucking puzzle. Yeah. It's like the puzzle's really complicated. Like that isn't. I know to fucking solve the puzzle, but it's like
It's
I need
like
help
opening
solving
it is
the
my
puzzle.
goal. How I do it is completely different. You son of a bitch. Yeah, I know.
So it's kind of.
That's
So
why
it's this- So like it.
I try to be clear about like what my intention with saying certain things are. I don't know if
Because for me, it's usually like, say someone says to me like, say someone was in a similar situation to me, or like they, like another example, say like someone's thinks like, oh, I can't be, like, I'll never be able to, like,
You're
draw
cupping your
this,
hand
like,
again.
sorry, like, say that someone's like a sculptor, right? And then they say, oh, I'll never like be able to sculpt this idea I have. And then I say to them like, that's crazy. Like, I've seen your idea, like your sketch or whatever. And like, I've seen the other work you've done. And it's like, you could definitely do it. Like, instead of me just saying that, I should be like, why do you feel like this one you can't do? You know what I mean? Not just like logically
Yes and
like
no. Like,
solve the problem for them, like give them sort of like confidence,
I mean,
because it doesn't.
there's like two different points being addressed here. Sometimes just talking them through them allows them to help themselves. Sometimes they know what the problem is, but they even know where to go, but they don't know how to get there. And that's like, you're technically in the latter. Like, when I say you shouldn't think this, it's like you already know that you shouldn't think this, but you don't know how to stop thinking this.
Yeah.
But that's why I try to elaborate later on, further in, like that you should, like, you should know your mental state when you're comfortable, and you shouldn't, like, notice your behavior when you're in that state, and you should notice like your thought process while in that state, so that you don't let go of that state the second you interact with this other person. Like that's the point I was trying to get to, but I don't know. I wasn't effective with that.
I think there's also like another issue where it's like when I was in that situation, my brain, I was like trying to like, another part of me was saying like, why are you not comfortable? You should be comfortable. This is like, this should be fun and enjoyable.
It's self-sabotaging self-judgment, which I talked about earlier. Like,
and it's just
it's actually like a bad feedback loop. It's one of the worst ones.
Yeah. So
didn't I say that? Didn't I have an example of that myself?
Maybe.
I swear to God, I talked about how. Oh yeah, like, I know that how I'm feeling is irrational, and then just get angry with myself that I can't just be perfectly rational.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that gets me far.
Yeah. So
it's so fucking useless. And then I feel useless, and then I get angry about being useless, but I'm not getting any less useless, so I just remain useless. Good job.
It's just so like,
fucking gay in it.
It's like, but it's such a weird situation where it's like, this whole like experience, it's almost like a net positive, right? So far.
Okay.
Because it's like being able to like understand there's nothing wrong with me, like,
period.
wanting, like there's nothing wrong with me understanding, or like me being aware of my own comfort level and like sort of doing things as I'm comfortable. So like, whereas before it's like, it might just be purely like, I should always be aiming to please the other person completely. And it's like, that my mindset was just like, I can do anything, I can be comfortable with anything, I can be confident with anything, like nothing phases. I don't have to, like, I just match what everyone else's expectations of me. When it's like, that seems almost crazy now.
But when did you realize that throughout our conversation? Did you have that epiphany earlier?
Pretty like, like,
because it didn't seem like you had that conclusion when we entered the conversation. But
no,
I don't
kind of,
I don't have the level of arrogance to assume that I helped you through this either. So.
No, it was more like I thought maybe that was, or it's like I kind of had that conclusion, but I hadn't really like, sort of.
The conclusion that it's okay.
I had the conclusion without the working out. So it's like.
So you have to work your way backwards.
Yeah, or like, like understand how I got to that conclusion, to like realize it. And it's like, it seems so strange because I've been so sort of in the mind of like, because I'm so used to, or like, because I was very like socially awkward before, and well, since I moved to London, I like always been sort of going through things
Like-
where I like push
like the-
myself and
That's just funny because I never saw you as socially awkward. I'm not sure.
Don't get too close.
because you've
we
never
were
seen
just
me in
lucky with it.
situations
I guess like that's what I
other
mean.
than like just us.
Yeah, but like, why are we different? Is sort of the thing that becomes the question.
Got you covered.
It's more like my social awkward level just kind of
Skyrockets when I'm not there. You're welcome.
well, I think a lot of, for me,
I'm your daddy.
probably the same. No, like a lot of people, it's like situations in which you're like comfortable or like confident. Is a better word. Like there can be situations where I'm confident and then
Time to go.
Like those are almost synonymous. Like confidence is
Yeah.
basically a general level of
Yeah.
comfort in situations that would make
So,
others uncomfortable.
I feel like if I'm like in a room and like I'm maybe talking to people about or like teaching people to like do like figure drawing or talk about like writing stories or like sci-fi or like I feel like no matter who's in that room I can be perfectly myself and confident because it's like the focus or I come from a position of like authority and confidence and like I'm like okay saying my opinion and it's like when I'm in situations where I don't have a kind of like
Authority?
like something to like something that boosts my confidence almost
Okay.
it's like hard for me because so when I
Sure,
go to these
but like,
yeah
how about this? Why haven't I seen that side of you before? What made you comfortable around like us at uni?
well so at uni when we would meet it would either be like in the labs and like we were solving a problem or doing something right like working or like talking about games or playing League of Legends or something so it's like the focus isn't on me trying to like impress or
Okay, so it is
sort
that.
of
Okay.
yeah it's like I'm not trying to kind of prove anything to
Fine,
anybody
not worth impressing. I get it.
no
Jesus.
it's like, you're a guy who cares
You haven't seen my penis.
thank God
Oh no, you don't understand. You're missing out.
yeah okay
I
does it
don't
look
care
like a
how
Skype
massive
picture?
Nature.
Don't you start with me.
Is it a Green Goblin?
Yeah, my penis is a green goblin.
Good. Do you hate Spider-Man?
You Spider-Man.
Yeah. So this, it's interesting because like so, this has happened before, where
Don't say.
like so I would be at some sort of I'd be somewhere like with my brothers or family or something, and like
Brother. It's
like
been too
a family
long.
thing, and like so say like my brother has a girlfriend, and I don't really know his girlfriend, right? And
Oh.
like I know a bit.
Oh, wait, I feel like interjecting here because fuck you, you've been talking too much. Okay, it's about me now.
Like in the middle of a point, you like interrupt.
Yeah, exactly. I've had this weird realization that the reason that I'm able to interact with a lot of people more comfortably is that I go into the interaction and I realize that I've got nothing to lose here. So I might as well try to push the relationship that we have into the direction of the relationship that I would want with almost anybody immediately, which is why I just say like absurd things because I find it funny, even though like there's a pretty big risk that I could like insult somebody or that they take it the wrong way. And I've just like learned through that to phrase things in ways that make people more comfortable, even though like I say offensive things. Usually they're like harmless or they're ambient or they're like not directed at anyone, or if they're directed at anyone, they're directed at myself, which usually makes them like makes it clear that there's like no ill will, and it's like we can shit talk at a certain level. But as soon as like family members of old, I'm like I have to be careful here because there's a lot of relationships linked together here with where if I say the wrong thing, like this entire deck of cards can start falling. So it's like I have completely different relationships with my family, And I think it's actually worse than most of my other relationships. Is the irony?
That seems weird. Like for me, it's like the opposite, where it's like my family. I feel like I can just say anything,
Okay.
right? And like,
Well, it's like it depends. Like
yeah,
with my close family. Well, like
I-
there's still weird barriers because
oh yeah, maybe.
I've got shit like my uh actually not talking about that.
But like, so like, I was basically at a family reunion today, right?
Mhm.
And so it's like, I just said anything I wanted. Like I didn't, but like, I guess maybe there's not really
And they
any
let you
kind
get
of,
away with it.
there's no like family issues. You know what I mean? There's no like weird interlink. Like this cousin doesn't like this cousin or anything.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
just,
but
yeah.
how to put this? We might have different thresholds for like. Okay, do you say the same absurd shit to me as you do to your family?
Mm,
Like you go hook, Jesus Christ, full cock and balls to the wall and like Xerofox given talk about make jokes about incest and who the fuck knows.
I think I'm like
80%
almost at that
there.
point. Yeah.
Okay.
Or like, I don't. I might sort of. I like the sort of dark areas I talk about. I like certain areas, but not others. You know what I mean? Just because.
As one with wind and clap.
Well,
Spring forth!
like. Or like the language I use is softer. Or like
Okay.
this. It's like the joke. It's not like I say like, yeah, that fat bitch like fucked her cousin. I wouldn't say that. I might be like, they got some like weird family relationships. You know what I mean? Or like. They're like these cousins are too close to each other. You know what I mean? Like kind of like I'm subtle. I make the joke subtle rather than like super explicit.
Okay. To me, execution is everything.
Well, yeah.
So
But-
the fact that you can't say that makes it seem like you
Then, yeah.
don't have that
But
sort of
you-
relationship.
Well, I do with my brothers, but like my
Like, how
brothers,
the
like
fuck-
if my, it's weird. Like if my brothers
like-
are there, I'll say it,
Because
and
like,
even
to
if
me,
everyone
you're
else is
supposed-
around.
You're supposed to have both. Like it shouldn't be that. Like one thing is that certain topics are taboo or off limits. Another is that the way that you say things are off limits. If you don't have both, like both of those can affect your level of comfort. They're both. Like, I consider both of them a measure of your relationship with anybody.
But then I think there's also this like ambient level of like, because I know, like we can talk about anything, but then like enjoy the conversation, regardless of the topic.
Yeah.
But I feel like most people, like even with my family, that's not the case. So it's like,
Is that as weird to you as it is to me? Weird question, but
yeah. Well, like we said this before, I remember, where it's like,
not being
Pete.
interested in exploring things and taking things personally or being so
Yeah.
invested in shit, like it's just
Yeah.
it's weird to me.
it's like why would you not want to like, like the conversation is like interesting regardless of the topic or like,
Yeah, and regardless of your investment in it, and regardless of
Yeah.
the other person's perspective on it, the topic itself is at least interesting.
yeah, it's just weird. Like so then, because I know that like not everyone wants to talk about
Clouds high.
like animation rigging of fucking hours. It's like
Check this out.
Now that I take personal.
it's like so the level at which I'm comfortable is there'll always be this kind of like holding back because I know I don't want to like bore people.
Okay, you know what's really funny when we're talking about familiar relationships? I remember how I talked about like not giving a shit helps. Like your comfort is important. I
Yeah.
used to be very careful about what I said around my grandmother. And then after I felt obligated to try and convince her to take the fucking vaccine. She was so fucking hostile in that conversation. I realized, wow, you're not giving me like any of the same benefit of that. I'm doing all the effort. And I'm realizing that there's almost nothing here to fuck up at this point if this is how you're going to treat me. And
Yeah.
my relationship with her has actually gotten better now, where it's just like I'm just not going to treat you with that much consideration if you're not willing to give it to me. And I was like, we're actually able to laugh about more things now because I'm taking more risks. That shit is fucking wacky.
Yeah. Like, yeah. I feel like kind of same with me. Like, I kind of. It's kind of strange for me where, like, my grandparents are the only ones that sort of worry about, like, sort of the direction I'm, like, taking my life. Like, they're like,
yeah, like there are a lot of people who are like bad at like having that as a topic of a conversation, and it's like important for parents to be able to do that, but it doesn't mean that they do.
yeah. Like, my grandparents would be like, every time I'm like, oh, I've made some new art, or I'm like working on some new project or something, and they're like, oh,
It
like,
shouldn't be doing something more solid.
no, it's more like, oh, you're gonna be able to sell it, and you're gonna be able to make money
Yeah.
from it, because
Fair
you know they worry
questions.
that yeah, I'm gonna run out of money or whatever, or like they want
Yeah,
me
of
to
course.
live off the work or something. So it's like, yeah, but like no one else asked me that, but like I can't tell if it feels more like they just don't trust my abilities.
Like honestly, the place that I see that come from mostly is people don't like the people who don't talk about it don't want to put pressure on you,
Yeah, yeah,
but they don't realize that there's always a level of soft pressure and just like if they have something to say, sometimes they should just get it off their chest so it's clear that you don't have anything to be worried about. Like my mother's fucking terrible at communication. Like she's fucking not told me about things related to like her medical state that I'm just like, how the fuck do I hear about this from like a third party?
yeah,
Okay, sorry.
yeah.
Give me a second. I think it's time for bed.
Lightweight.
Speak of the devil.
You have to go.
No, I can just talk quietly, like we spoke like this last time. So
Yeah, because I just want to, like, when you said before, like going into a conversation with someone you have nothing to lose.
Mhm.
I feel like that's not true, like from my perspective.
like you do have something to lose. The thing is that thinking like that you don't have anything to lose actually helps with the relationships.
Yeah, but surely, yeah, okay, but
Well, depending on like, I think it
how?
actually reveals what type of person you are, because when you have that sort of mentality, then it's like you're the one who's fully in control, so you can take the conversation wherever you want it. There's nothing stopping you anymore.
Yeah, because I think like that's my issue. It's like it's like I can be in control and then I can't. Like, to say like
I think
yesterday.
I think part of the reason that the people don't do that is the feeling of responsibility. You don't want to be responsible for the consequences, so then you end up caring. Or that weird interplay here. I'm not sure how to phrase it. You understand what I mean?
Mm, like for me, say like for example, yesterday it was like I had trouble thinking what to say because I felt like nervous and this sort of typical feeling of like I don't want to like mess this up sort of thing.
Mhm.
When it's like that that's usually only an issue for a little while, but it felt like quite strong. Like, but also I think not just because it's like I don't want to fuck it up. It was like we hadn't really had we kind of like skipped a lot of like conversational topics which are actually good. to like have some kind of common ground to like have discussions. Like, I didn't know about her family or where she lives or what her work is or like anything. And it's like
Mm.
we almost like assume we're like comfortable and know each other, where it's like the topics or like the range of topics we could discuss was like non-existent. But then it felt as if like if you sort of backtrack and like you're like backtracking the like level of intimacy because you're sort of like doing the sort of bullshit questions and sort of like first date sort of shit.
Fortune flip was right.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like
Reporting fire.
just thinking now, that's kind of realizing that it was like
Royal decree.
maybe that was another issue as well. Like usually why I'd like to know someone better because like the inability to
One with me.
enjoy and sort of maintain conversations with that person is like a problem. And it's like
Mm-hmm.
Shadow ray.
because we were at like an event
Here's
and like a party thing, it's like we could just dance or get a drink or like there were other people around to like talk with and sort of like have
What,
other
carry the
sort of
burden?
side. Yeah, so like the burdens, and so it was like so weird to think now. It's like almost like we're like getting physical, and
Odds reveal.
I like
Don't get too close.
don't know anything.
Supporting fire.
Like
As one
we've
with
never
wind
had
and
like a
cloud.
proper conversation, or
No rest for the
I don't know if we even like similar things.
How do I put this? Like to some degree, we can say the same about us, honestly.
wind
Like,
strike.
for example, some of the things that you mentioned, like, I know almost nothing about your family history or, like, your life before uni and shit like that.
Well, it's not so
And it's
much
like,
that it's not so much like those topics specifically. I meant more in the sense of like we have common common topics
Interests?
of discussion. Like so there are things that we can talk about.
right,
Right.
yeah.
So like with her there was like nothing because I didn't know anything. It didn't
Yeah,
have
it's
to
fair.
be like family or whatever. It's just like
Yeah.
there
Like,
was no
y-
topics.
Yeah, like how you say that you're able to talk about anything with me. Knowing what you can talk about with people is, like, really important.
Yeah.
Like, that's basically what chemistry is. Like,
Yeah.
one metric for it is, like, how conversation can flow.
Yeah.
And that is decided by
By royal decree.
knowing what you're able to talk to the other person with. Talk with. Fucking hell, I don't know how to phrase this. What am I having in energy?
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's like I don't because we seem to have a chemistry, but it was almost like flirty, sort of more sort of
One with nature.
Just
like
shallow?
Check this out.
like super shallow, but kind of like
Did you
this
like
kind
it?
of this kind of like giddy sort of like, oh, I can't believe you like me. Oh, you're cute. Sort of that sort of shit. And so
That sounds
it's
fucking
like
obnoxious.
yeah, so it's like the degree to which like that is still cute and fun. It was like slowly running out,
Yeah,
like
I don't
quickly
see
running
that.
out. Sorry.
Okay.
So that it's just weird. It's like I don't know why. I've never been in that. Like looking back, I don't think I've ever been in a situation like that before. So like, but I think it's almost like because I didn't know what like situations or what kind of comfort level or thing like that I'm good with
Don't get too close.
because I'm just because just inherently or how it's happened is every other time I've been with someone or had a relationship with someone, it's like gone slowly.
Sure. But I'm not sure how you measure speed in this situation.
Speed of what?
Spring forth.
Exactly.
Well, like speed of like assessing and sort of like
The
having
relationship.
chemistry, like chemistry almost. The sort of like
By royal decree.
I don't know.
Maybe
Like my question is, how do you define this? Like, how are you measuring the speed to say that it's going too fast?
Well, from
Like,
yesterday,
okay,
it's like
sorry, like I feel like I should make this point because I don't think I make it obvious with what I say, but what I always try to do in most situations when people make like strong statements or reach conclusion is instead of asking like, oh, why do you think that? I try to be more specific. And what I ask is, what's your metric? You're clearly measuring something and it's meeting a threshold that makes you reach this conclusion. What are you measuring? What's your metric?
I think so. If I'm like measuring like my comfort level,
Mhm.
or like say more accurately, like the level of comfort at which point I'm sort of happy and comfortable to like push things to a physical level.
Mhm.
That's kind of what I'm assessing. It's like because I've realized that there's like now I've realized there's like I need to be at some sort of comfort level to progress to a physical place,
Mhm.
right? So in terms of like the metric at which I would be able to define the like is comfortable versus isn't, um, it might be
Odds reveal.
Into the wind.
Scatter.
it's not so much like a value of something, it's more like a like true false almost. Like
It's binary.
kind of or it's like how do I like I don't know, like the metric.
By royal.
So comfort level. I'm just trying to think about like I'm thinking maybe along the lines of like
Time to go.
maybe like if I'm enjoying it is maybe that's a metric. Or the like the level to which I'm like thinking about myself maybe.
All these are like descriptions of comfort to me. Is that
Yeah,
how you're so?
nice.
But like, it's the speed itself that I'm wondering because you're saying too fast. You're using that language, and I don't know what that actually refers to. Well, like I have a vague understanding, but I don't think it's good enough.
I think that so the reason it felt uncomfortable when I was physical with her was because
You're actually gay.
I I didn't know if what I was doing
Mhm.
was like right or wrong in terms of she enjoyed it or she was enjoying it, or whatever. And like at no
Mm.
point did I think about
Did you feel like you were
if,
managing her emotions too much?
yeah.
Yep.
So it's like so maybe the point at which I'm like almost like not considering her, or it's like my consideration of myself and her is like equal. But then
So,
speed,
put
speed.
this like hmm, the description of my state of apathy feels like it's sort of dishonest at this point. It's like it's not like I don't care about the other person in my relationships. It's just that I feel like I can take a level of risk, but I'm usually
mm,
always like aware of what the other person is feeling, or like it's not like I want to mistreat them because I know I can get away with it. It's like I got nothing to lose. Fuck you up your cuda, and then I walk over there and kick them in
mm,
the ass and like you push them down the
yeah,
stairs. Like I'm the king of the world, baby. It's not like
mm,
that's what happens to me, right? So
yeah.
it's not like you actually like stop caring. I don't feel like that's the right term. It's just that you realize that they're replaceable. Is basically it, technically. Like they're not unique. There's not something they have that nobody else can provide, and that knowledge can be very freeing. She isn't the only one for you.
I never. That doesn't really.
like, I'm not saying that this is what you're thinking. I'm just saying that this is a
Yeah.
mentality a lot of people have,
Yeah.
and being aware that that isn't the case is helpful for a lot of people.
For me, I think it's more
Hey, cup.
like my inability to like read the situation
Mm-hmm.
or like
How do you know
read.
you're unable to read the situation? Your personal emotions, hers, these.
Yeah, I think it's like maybe it's more to do with like my decision making in the moment. Like, say I have like a clear in my head. Say I have like this clear sort of progression.
Mhm.
Like, I'm doing this, and next I want to do that, and then that, and then like I want to do this and progress like that. Like, where because it felt like I was just kind of like scrambling between things. I was like, I'll do this now. Okay, I'll do this now. Do that. Like, try that. Do that. Like, it was just sort of my like inability
I wonder if that is
to
accurate.
like.
Because you're not in the moment now, and it seems like you're trying to like reflect in order to understand, and that
Yeah.
can always like be difficult. Like it has to be
Yeah.
really recent usually in order for it to work. In my
Well, it
experience.
was like 24 hours ago. Like, I can still
Okay,
kind of
yeah,
feel
that's
it.
true.
Like,
But have you carried that emotion till now? Is like sort of the question.
yeah.
No,
Like, I can.
okay.
It's because I like going through the experience. It's like it felt like super like mechanical. Like, do this now,
Like
do that now.
autopilot.
Yeah, like sort of just sort of remember it. Like I wasn't like reading her like at all. I wasn't like set like say, okay, how did she react to that? How did she react to that? Like do this. It was just kind of like try anything. You know what I mean? Just do stuff. Like do that. Okay, now do it again. Just do it harder. Like it's just. It was like
What?
I
Are we
didn't.
talking during the sex at this point?
No, it was like making out and things. It's just like every action I feel like was so like
Automatic.
yeah, like I
Do you feel like it should be more manual? I'm a little confused. Like that's necessarily a bad
no,
thing.
it felt like I wasn't
Like,
making any
so-
decisions.
Okay, but like when you're comfortable, a lot of things are like automated because you're not overthinking things.
I know what you mean, but then
Ooh, what's in here?
But it was an
no,
uncomfortable
okay,
thing.
it was actually maybe better describing it was like
Like it sounds like what you're saying is that you were in a different mode that you weren't comfortable with, and it didn't feel like you were in control because that's
yeah.
what the automation part is describing.
Well, actually, it's probably the opposite. Like it felt yeah. So like normally it feels more automatic because like you're in sync with the other person. But this time it was like manual in the sense of like just like push every button, like scramble, just fucking hit anything. Like no
It's probably that fight or flight mode. You're just like, okay, she's probably gonna say this. She didn't say that. Okay, what's the backup plan? It's just
Yeah.
fucking full on overdrive.
yeah, it was just
Yeah,
like
that's
overdrive
stressful.
panic. Like and but it felt like that almost like a whole interaction. Like across the entire like 2 hours. Like
That is
the whole time.
stressful. Jesus Christ.
So it's like that kind of
Put a damper on things.
yeah, like the sort of complete like
Wind strider.
The
But then
problem is you can't put that on her either. That
'cause
sounds
it,
like
like-
a you issue. Oh, what was she doing something to make that happen? It seems like it's just nerves.
No, but I think it's more maybe she was more used to situations like that.
And therefore, she should bear responsibility, or what?
No. So she knows what she's doing in it. So she was confident in that situation. So
Yeah, but I don't know what
like-
to do with that information.
So in the sense of like, it's not like it might have been more my issue.
But she should have been
And
aware of it. What?
no, like it was mostly my issue, but like
I need to stop interrupting you.
she
Yes, her.
she never like it was like it's like she wanted me to sort of lead things
Even though it's out of your
where
wheelhouse.
yeah, and so
Yeah, she put the responsibility on you, and you say, yeah, you think that she should have been in control. She should have had responsibility. That is what you're
but then
describing.
it's but I don't feel like she made any mistakes in terms of like
By royal decree.
I think it was more
Like, I know that this sounds like an unfair way to phrase it, but I think we should just describe it how you feel it before we try to clarify it.
yeah, I don't feel like
Fortune slip was right.
Yeah.
I feel kind of like maybe she was like she's like I was like what was it? It's like she didn't realize that or didn't know that like this situation was like completely outside my knowledge and like comfort levels, right? Like completely outside
Wait.
my experience.
You said that she wasn't aware of that?
Yeah. So it seems
Okay.
like she wasn't aware that this like entire situation was like outside of my like experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it seems like from her point, it felt like maybe we were on the same page.
Sure.
And so like her expectations were at a certain
We're
point.
matched accordingly.
Yeah. So like if she had done this before, like
Oh,
her typical experience is
Sorry,
different.
can we pause? Like, don't forget your point.
I'll try.
Wait, what did you just say? Fuck it.
Um,
Matching experience.
yeah, like her. Basically,
Alex?
she was almost like assuming that I was at the same level as her. Like I was at the same understanding as her of like what was going to happen, what is happening.
Mm.
Whereas like that's basically not true. But then I don't put that blame on her for that because of like if like you go to a fucking you go to like a tennis club and then someone else comes to the tennis club and it's like a tennis tournament, but like
Wait.
one person's never played tennis in their life. Like,
That's
why
me,
would you
maybe.
assume that someone who's coming to a tennis tournament doesn't know how to play tennis? Right. So it's like that's kind of
wait.
what it feels like.
I just remember what I was going to say. The topic of lying by omission feels relevant here. Like, I thought about this myself, where,
Yeah.
sorry, like that's technically, like, don't read too much into that. I'm about to explain.
Yeah. I kind of get what you mean.
I've noticed that I seem like I'm almost dishonest sometimes because I don't match my emotions with what I say.
Yeah.
So sometimes it feels like what I'm saying is a joke, where I'm just like, I'm saying it with a smile because I'm trying not to put pressure on the other person. But what I'm actually doing is not honestly revealing my emotions. I was like, that's been a problem with my niece, where she thinks everything that I'm saying is a joke, but I'm just like, no, like this is annoying me, but I don't want you to feel bad. But I need her to feel a certain level of bad before she's willing to stop doing the shit that she's doing.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't register unless like the emotion matches like the shit that I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I technically had problems with this with other people in other situations, and like I need to stop. Like there are a lot of situations where I need to stop doing that, or at least when I'm with somebody who's like, how to put this, too emotionally attuned and too irrational. Like they don't listen to what I'm saying; they're listening to how I'm saying it. and I
Yeah.
need to be aware of that. So it sounds like you're almost like projecting a certain level of comfort, or she isn't detecting it. Like it could go either way. But
Yeah, I
the
think
point
for
is there
me
needs
it's
to be
more. It's like
some communication there.
I'm like projecting a level of confidence.
And that you don't actually have, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Like,
basically it.
but like, I think that's why I appreciate bluntness so much, is because I'd rather just say it instead of like get emotional about it. I don't like projecting my emotions on it.
Mm.
So therefore, I prefer just doing the direct linguistic level of communication. It's like, I want to have sex. How do you feel? And just to try to do that as confidently as possible instead of like,
Yeah,
I don't think you understand. I'm really fucking horny.
yeah. But it's like the like for
I'm about to
me,
fucking explode. Please, you need to help me out there.
it's like the signs that I felt confident and like comfortable. Like well, no, I felt confident, not comfortable, and like I knew I wanted to do it, and
Did you not
like
progress?
it's like I didn't sort of
Tell me how much you want to fuck.
question. It's like I knew like what it's like the idea in my head of what it was gonna be made me confident because I'm like in my head I'm picturing what's gonna happen, and then it gets to it and it's like it's not
be
what I
close, baby.
imagined,
Yeah.
and it's like it's not what I'm used to, and it's not the same ways that like usually I do things or things progress. It's like completely different, and like I can't like I can't feel comfortable to kind of take control of the situation or sort of slow things down or progress it or change it or like move things in the right direction because it's like I'm literally just in like panic mode.
Paddle yeah.
So yeah, pretty like basically, and it's like there's nothing for me to like fall back on or like
You're exposed.
there's no like history between us or like previous understanding or like chemistry or you know
There's
like
no safety net, and you're slowly starting to
Yeah.
realize.
yeah, and I'm just like what have I like put myself into? I'm like completely out of my depth, and like I don't have like I have skills or like as an analogy, it's like you have like someone says to you like a fireman, or there's a fire, go and put it out, and then you get there and it's not a fire, it's like 10 people have chemical burns, and it's like
This is not what I signed up for.
you're like, where's the fire, right? Like there's no fire, but
And then
like
people are still expecting you to do something. It's like,
yeah, like,
you need a
you're
doctor, motherfucker.
yeah, like you're a fireman, you save people, like you must have some sort of medical training, and
Okay,
like
so Isaac, what you're trying to say is that you were too sexually inept for that encounter.
not
Sorry, like I'm intentionally phrasing it in like the worst way possible. I don't
so-
actually intend you to answer seriously, but I realize that that could technically like.
but it's not so much like inept like physically, it's like
Anyway,
it's like lack of knowledge, because if because I've projected confidence and I'm in a position where like I'm the one who's supposed to be like leading things and like in control, because this is what happens a lot with me, or like my experiences where a lot of people that I've been in relationships with, they want me to be like
large and
in
in
charge.
charge.
Yeah, they're like you're either the man, or they want to
Be a real
be
man.
they want to be like more submissive and blah blah blah. So it's like I'm like
Which you found out
always
actually means lazy, yeah.
yeah, and like I'm always in the position where like I'm the one that has
Without
to
responsibility.
yeah, like it's just all on me basically, like
Yeah, it's really annoying.
and so
Like,
that's
people
fine.
There's a lot of people who have like this weird bad mentality where it's like, Like, it's supposed to be back and forth, and it seems like people don't realize this. Like, it's not supposed to be
Yeah.
a single-player game. Like, you need enthusiasm from both sides, otherwise it feels fucking bad. Like, it doesn't matter.
That's-
Like here's the thing. Like, a lot of people say that they how to put this. This whole submissive thing is just like it. It's to bail them out. Like,
Yeah.
if it doesn't matter who you are, or if you say that you want somebody who's submissive, even if they're submissive, if there's like not a level of enthusiasm that's being expressed, fucking hell, it kills the mood. And it's like some people just seem to expect to like, okay, I can just sit there and then you do everything. It's like, I'm
That
sorry, do you even want this? What the fuck is happening?
that's like so
what am I-
true. Like for me, like I think like because in my life I felt so like because I was like, overweight and shy and reclusive and things. It was like
honestly, Isaac, wait, and the thing is, I know why they do it. It's because, like you said, you don't want the responsibility. Nobody wants the responsibility, but you both need to take fucking responsibility. Fucking hell.
yeah. So like for me, like because I spent most of my life sort of like shy and overweight and like I thought I was like unattractive or I just didn't give a shit about dating, whatever. Like
The shit that's awkward about that is that kind of longer lasting effects than you want
Right.
to admit. Yeah.
like right, that's what I'm going to say. So it's like the fact if someone doesn't like show enthusiasm that they
Jesus
like
Christ, that was the loudest ash I've heard in my life.
like they
Like, it seriously, it made my heart rate go up. That was fucking...
what?
When you said show, like you pushed the sound so fucking hard, it made me jump.
Did that? Okay. Yeah, sorry. Like if the person doesn't show any kind of like
Engagement.
enthusiasm in it, or like attraction to me, in which like I can feel that they like want me as much as I want them. It's like I can't get into it because it's because that's almost what it was like yesterday. It was like just thinking back and like going over it in my head. It's like she literally just kind of didn't like all she did was like react to me. She didn't like do anything herself. She didn't like touch me or like sort of without being sort of told, like like so say like we're like hugging or something and like kissing.
What, you and me are gay?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, in this situation.
Yeah, no, so me and her were making out, but it was like she wouldn't like touch me in a way where it's like it felt like she was enthusiastic or enjoying it.
It's like she asks for a hug, and then she like either has her arms like right down on the sides. It's like standing completely straight, or she's fucking T-posing while you're hugging. It's like you're giving mixed messages. What the fuck is happening?
It's like she was so. It just felt like she was kind of waiting for me to do everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, so you have this like perfect storm of like, I don't know what she likes. I don't know anything about her. Like, she's not showing any enthusiasm. Like,
I swear to God, people develop this bad habit where they think there's not supposed to be any communication during sex. Like, it's supposed to be awkward and silent the entire fucking time.
yeah. But then it's awkward because, like, again, it was like awkward to communicate with her because we barely communicated at all and we didn't know much about each other. So it's like
Finders keepers.
the communication doesn't feel comfortable because I'm just not used to communicating with her. So it's like so fucking like weird, and like, but like I always have this feeling in my head of like all this I've talked about and like feeling comfortable and feeling like they have enthusiasm, but like there's still this like thing in my brain that's like that shouldn't matter. You should like
By royal
like I have this like sort of weird like toxic masculinity shit in my head where it's like there's a
You
woman in
should be
front
able
of
to
you.
just overcome it.
Yeah, you should just like
Wheel away from it.
there's a woman, just fuck them like instantly. Like
Yeah.
it's like and it's that kind of feeling of like being a failure sort of thing. Like
Yeah, which is
you're
extra pressure.
fucking yeah. So it's like, what's wrong with you? Like, why should you care about like the other person wanting like being enthusiastic to be with you and like feeling like you're like want them to have a good time. Like you shouldn't care. You should just like throw them down and fuck them.
Yeah, I don't get that mentality. It's like,
And but yeah, I
like,
don't, it's so stupid, but I can't. It's just
I can't do that
there.
on any level with any relationship. Like, if I don't feel like both of us are getting something out of this, like, I can't function.
Yeah.
Like, I need to know that people are enjoying themselves or it's fucking with me, but sometimes it's also like difficult to even bring that up because they feel guilty if they think that I'm worried about them or that they're it's weird. Like basically we're both concerned about everybody having fun, so if somebody feels like they're bringing down the mood, they're like they're the ones who end up feeling guilty.
Yeah. It's so weird. It's like that. Like
Ish.
it's like realizing all this and like understanding myself better, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then I just know for some strange reason that like if I'm going to these like parties and things or I'm just doing stuff again, like I'll keep having these thoughts of like I should be able to be different. I should be acting different. I should like take these opportunities regardless of how comfortable I feel. Like I don't know why that like
you
like,
are able, but the question is, should you even want to?
or it's more yeah, it's like I think it's like I think what like I actually like having this new sort of found understanding. It's like me basically like
Is it liberating?
kind of, but it's more like say it's almost like it's like something for me to be confident about. And this where before I said it's like if I'm confident, it helps like with my comfort level. So it's like understanding myself and knowing that like even if I walk in and some woman like jumps on me, it's like, yeah, fuck me right now, like I love you, let's make out and shit. Like if I'm not like turned on by that or not enjoying it or it's an opportunity but I don't want to take it. Like knowing that like I'm perfectly fine with that, I feel is like will be a lot will like really be beneficial to me. Like sort of
What, being aware that it doesn't reflect badly on you if you're not interested?
It's like I'm not like it's like that those thoughts in my head where it's like
I was like it
yeah.
Jesus Christ. Not only doesn't it reflect badly on you, like you're showing restraint and like a good set of priorities, like it's a positive in every way.
I know, yeah. But it's like I think 'cause all the issues I've had before of like because I was so like emotionally like socially stunted, like I was just kind of incapable of relationships and everything for like a long time. It's like my like previous thinking was almost just like anything is good, you know what I mean? Like something is better than nothing. So
I
it's
know
like
a lot of people end up thinking like that. It's like it's weird to me, but I understand that people are like that. Like I think I told you about this, but like I've never had the mentality that getting into a relationship or just having sex is somehow going to fix anything.
Yeah.
Like I've always viewed it as like extra problems because again, like unless I know that both of us are getting something out of this, like it just fucks with me. Like I don't like that feeling that I might be getting like all the benefits from this interaction,
Yeah.
which means that I will be like really concerned and invested in the other person's happiness, and I know that that is draining. So therefore, like that's why like I'm half-assed about getting into relationships, and like if it happens, it's great. But if I have to like put myself out and I fucking drain my soul dry in the process, it's not gonna be fucking worth it. So it's no point in getting stressed over this, since like it seems like it's just as likely to make me fucking miserable unless I get really lucky.
Yeah. But then, like, just moving on to like a new topic, not a new topic, but like, you know how like we both find it weird that like other people can't talk about everything in the same way you can.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel as though like someone I want in a serious relationship has to be able to do that.
Well, then let's just get married, guys. You can get it over.
Well, if you were a woman, maybe, but
Isaac, I keep telling you this. You haven't seen my penis yet. Like, trust me.
there is no like it's like a double bluff. You don't have one.
Yeah, but you weren't supposed to know that.
Oh, okay. But then I feel like is that like a crazy unrealistic thing to want, or like do I need that? Should I want that? Like, is it? Because I can't imagine my life where I'm like living with a person, or like have kids or a house, or spend all my time, like a lot of time with them, and like they aren't able to enjoy conversation the same way I am.
Yep.
So I feel like it's almost like they have to be fucking like.
I was like, the reason I
Crazy
find it so
nerd
weird is
bitches.
that being able to talk about anything to me is like a metric for that comfort that I'm talking about.
Mm,
Like,
yeah.
we're able to talk about anything because we know that there aren't any repercussions if we have like a bad perspective or whatever the fuck. There's
Yeah.
not going to be any consequences. I'm not going to judge your heart. Well, there probably are limits, but we've yet to reach them. So.
Yeah. Because if someone like.
But people treat like are like so quick to treat you like you're overstepping bounds before you even know what they are. And if like that sort of mentality I fucking hate. Like if you haven't even established what your boundaries are, you shouldn't be allowed to criticize the other person if they cross them by accident. But people treat them like you should just be able to know. And I think that's the most infuriating part about it.
And like I remember recently, it was like someone I chatted with a bit online, and then we kind of went out for drinks, and like I was very comfortable with her. And like I spent the night at hers, right? And like it was kind of strange where we were physical, but then it kind of there was this like weird feeling I got from her where it was like it was like she couldn't be like the same way, you know, normally like I'm saying like they're submissive and I'm like doing everything, right? Like it's like she didn't know what she liked, right? She was very like don't know, like sort of try anything, whatever. But it would be like I'm doing everything and we've been like doing stuff for like hours now, and like it's been enjoyable, and then it's like, but it was like it just like every time she felt like she wasn't understanding sort of the effort I was putting in. Like
I wasn't appreciated probably.
Like say I was like, oh, I'm a bit like sort of tired in this position, or like I can't, like it's hurting my legs or something, right? All I would hear in her voice is like disappointment.
What?
Just kind of like it's like she's like, oh, okay, or like I'm like, yeah, because it's like my legs really hurt, or it's like I'm going for like an hour and it's like I'm really tired, and like I can probably go again in a bit and just like need to rest. Like, oh, okay, that'd be nice. It's just like, but it was such a weird differentiation. It's like, so she's not doing anything, and she doesn't even know what she likes, and like she's enjoying it,
Mhm.
and I'm like trying, and I'm like I'm making an effort, and like sort of I'm being like open about things. I'm like, oh, this hurts, or like problems I'm having. Like I'm
And she
communicating a
feels
lot.
dismissive about it.
Like she's all like, but it's weird. Like she would understand what I'm saying, and like she'd like yeah understand it and talk about it. And it's like okay, and
Mhm.
try and like, understand it, and like ask me questions about it. But like every time it was like I need
What,
to
it
like
felt judgmental?
stop for a minute or like rest for a bit. It was just like disappointment,
Yeah.
and it was like it was
Like,
so she's like
this is sort of a topic that I'm not. Okay, maybe I should phrase this better, but for lack of a better description, I'm not willing to discuss because I wasn't there in the room
yeah I
and I
guess
don't know how much reading into the situation. Like, there's nothing for me to
yeah
do here other than saying, I'm I'm sorry that happened, or I'm sorry that you feel that way, but it
yeah
also feels dismissive. So, yeah.
yeah I guess yeah it's just
And also, I think I told you about this before, but I end up in a lot of trouble with my friends talking about these sort of things because
mm,
when I don't know the details, like I can't take a side. Like, there's a
yeah
big chance that you just like misread the situation. That's a possibility,
yeah
or that yeah, she could have like miscommunicated, but it wasn't like ill intention, or it could be that she was a total bitch and I'm giving her too much benefit of that. But yeah,
yeah
but yeah, there's like nothing for me to do here. Sorry. Um.
yeah
Okay, but wait. Since we're basically at a pausing point, I've climbed this massive tree and there's a seedling thing here, and I need to throw dendro on it, and I might trigger cutscene. So just give me a second.
oh shit I can't wait
Yeah, it's golden. It's golden. The golden one is stuck
cutscene
over it. Here we go. I can go back and
fused
run around that.
Aaron
And then he just leaves. That's all. Okay, well, that was way quicker than I was expecting. Okay. Where were we?
yeah, it was just a bit of a tangent, really.
You had an awkward interaction. I don't know where to go from there.
No, I think I was trying to like. It's more because it was like I was comfortable, but then it was like this kind of like sort of feeling of disappointment from her perspective. But then like it's more like the lack of what is it? It's like it's hard
Not
to
sacrificing?
read. It's hard to kind of maybe it's more about what I was saying about sort of me always kind of having to take the position where like I'm leading things and I'm responsible for the outcome.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like it would I don't I actually feel like maybe that isn't the role that I actually enjoy.
Sure.
Whereas because I like having the
Like when you take your
freedom.
responsibilities seriously, like it can be extremely stressful.
Yeah, it's like I like having the feeling and understanding and like knowing that the other person is enjoying themselves. So being in the situation where I can like take actions and like do things and sort of try and get things to a nice place where like we're like both enjoying ourselves, right?
Mhm.
Like that's an aspect I like. So usually if you're in charge, you can but like manage that better, I think. If you know the other person well, like you can
Wait, fuck! I feel like I just missed the point.
like you can so one thing I always think about is like making sure the other person is enjoying themselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
So being in the more in charge place helps like alleviate that feeling because I know I can like change things and like redirect the situation so that I can try and make sure that they're enjoying it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But like I find
I think you were saying there was
always
a benefit to that.
yeah.
That's
So
where.
like the benefit of being in charge is that you like I'm have more freedom to try and ensure that they're enjoying the situation
I
because
think I
I
said that
can.
more like. Sorry, when
Or
you,
just
when you have the freedom, you're free to ignore them, but that's not what you're going to do. So you're restricted by a sense of responsibility. I don't consider that freedom. Like they're giving
well,
you the responsibility and the freedom to choose. Well,
that's what it's like say like I know things they like.
mhm.
If I'm more like leading things, I can choose when to do that and like which things to do in which order, or like sort of I can sort of direct things in a way where I can make sure they're enjoying themselves.
Yeah, I just consider that extra pressure. I'm confused about what the benefit
Yeah,
is.
yeah. Okay, so yeah, okay. That probably it is more pressure, but like it's like I always have the pressure of worrying about if they're enjoying themselves. So
Like they're the ones with
have
freedom because they don't have to care. Like it's.
yeah, but so they have the freedom not to be responsible, but
Mm.
like their enjoyment is purely based on your actions.
Oh, mm, yeah, which can make it more rewarding, technically. Yes.
Yeah, so it's
So,
like
like, if
knowing
you're
you're
able
doing
to
it right.
execute, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but then what I'm saying is like
But the problem is also the lack of feedback. Like sometimes you
yeah, yeah,
can't really tell like if you're doing better because like they won't fucking communicate, and it's just
yeah,
you're just fucking blind firing.
yeah. So that's the thing. So it's like I feel as though I would rather things be more like 50-50 rather than me kind of like 90% 10%, you know what I mean? And I
Um,
feel like I'm more
I feel like I should have named this stream "Blue Pilling" my already blue pilled friend. Just,
yeah.
sorry, I didn't mean to
It's
interrupt.
just it's just kind of you know it's like it's not that I don't enjoy certain things like that, but it's like but I don't it's not that I don't enjoy sometimes being in control, but I feel usually like them giving away the control to you like gives them like a free pass like not to show any enthusiasm almost or like it's kind of it just
Like,
becomes about them, right? They assume that you doing it is
sometimes
enjoyable.
it feels like you should be able to just like fuck with them during sex because they're them pulling shit like that. There's just like you put the finger on the butt. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, I thought you liked that. Just like be a dick about it. It's like, oh, I'm sorry.
That,
Is this lack of communication being a problem for you now?
that's kind of a thing that some people like they call it like being a brat. So like
Oh,
they
God.
like
Finders keepers.
they like to like people like to be kind of bratty while you're asleep. So they like to kind of tease you or like kind of be like playful while you're sleeping. And then they cut so they like the idea of
Yeah, but like, that might
you
be fine. It's
punishing
like it depends on whether or not you can read them, almost really.
yeah.
But it's
It's
like
just
if they're being like if they're like being misleading about how they feel, it's like okay, well, sorry. Like, like at that point, I'd probably be like, if the sex sucks for you, I don't even care at that point. You're doing everything you can to like make me misread the situation. At that point, all the responsibility is on you, not me. Fuck you.
yeah. And like also someone else sort of leading things for a while or like say like I do what I want and then they do what they want. It
Mm.
like gives you a better indication of like what they enjoy because they have they're the ones choosing what they're doing now. So it's like
Sorry, repeat that. I'm not sure. Hold on.
so say like say I'm usually in charge, right?
Mhm.
So basically
If you
they're like
each do your own thing, you can.
so say for example I'm always in charge, right?
Here.
And I'm basically like sort of almost like to some degree you might just be following your own like desires, right? Like I might just be doing what I want, right?
Mhm.
And so you might, and so to some degree, there might be things that you don't know that they like because you're just following your own desires. So
Mhm.
if it's swapped round where now it's them, they're now following whatever desire they want. It's like you can learn what their desires are.
Oh yeah, like you can just learn from example. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, say like, say like
Why
they.
didn't you
I'm
just
just
say
like,
that, Isaac? I was lost for so long.
yeah. And so it's like, but then also that proves that they actually like, have enthusiasm to be with you because they could just be lying back doing nothing,
Hmm.
and you could still kind of enjoy it because you know it's physical. But like when it's now they're the ones who have to have the responsibility of making the decisions, then you can really get an idea of what their enthusiasm is.
Sorry, like I'm just a little distracted because I just realized how I treat that situation. Again, like I appreciate the level of bluntness most people aren't comfortable with. I think I just straight up go. There's two ways this can go. You can either communicate with me so I know what you like, or I stop giving a shit and I just do what the fuck I want.
Yeah. But then like I feel like if I just do what I want, I stop enjoying it so much because it's like they have no
I know what you
enthusiasm.
mean. It's just
So,
like sometimes saying that is not just to make things clear for them, but make things clear for me that this is a ridiculous situation that I'm in, and I shouldn't have to have this responsibility when they're doing everything they can to like make it difficult for me.
Finders keepers.
yeah,
Like find out what's reasonable. That's important.
yeah. It's almost like I'm kind of looking forward to being more like comfortable and confident in these situations now. Like,
Hey, you can get more out of them then.
like understanding my own like feelings or my own like
The fortune slip was right.
what would you call it? My own
Homosexuality. Got him.
my own like way of operating. I guess that makes sense. I don't know, like how do you describe it?
Behavior
Yeah, my way of behavior,
or thought patterns is also
personality.
important.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so it's like having a clear understanding of that, and then potentially
If you want to get
now,
spiritual again, who you are.
like, but then being able to understanding it means I'm able to communicate it
Mm-hmm.
to others. So it's like I've had that, but like to last not yesterday, but like weeks before somewhere else,
Mhm.
I had basically two people ask me the same thing, like, um, why do you not kind of sort of try anything with? So there's a sort of regular group of friends I go with.
Okay.
And when I go, it's basically, for me, it's just like socializing, dancing, like making friends or like getting people's numbers and stuff or whatever. But
Oh,
a lot of them, yeah,
That's my
a lot of
favorite
them, yeah, a lot of them are kind of more, they like do physical stuff together and they're like more intimate and whatever. Like hooking up with each other and stuff.
Yeah, that's fucking whatever.
Like, they, so one of them asked me, while we're just like outside chatting and stuff, like, why don't you like join them or
The fortune slip
kind
was
of
right.
Sort of join them to do what?
like what like why aren't you like hooking up with people like everyone else is sort of thing, you know? Like why are you not um kind of
And not what you're interested in? Are you allowed to do that?
so that was a question. They're like, why like we've been in the same friend group for a while and like everyone else is kind of doing stuff like this, but you're not.
Wait, what exactly are we doing? Just hooking up with each other? Or what?
Yeah, basically. And like they asked me that, and I'm like, my first response was like, I feel like I have.
Actually, can I
Mhm.
remember what you were going to say? Just so I don't like cut this train of thought.
You fucking Genshin.
Yeah, yeah. But no, It's not that. Fucking
Oh,
God damn it! Now you're cutting me off. Fuck. What was I going to say?
Paimon?
Okay, yeah. You're with a group of friends. They're all like hooking up with each other. The problem is that in that sort of environment, you're likely to cut off your own feelings because if you develop it with one of these people and they're dating each other instead of you, that'll hurt. So therefore, you try to numb yourself to that situation naturally, intrinsically. So, okay, that's it.
Yeah. And so, like, my response was, I feel like I haven't had any, like, signals from them that they would be interested in me.
Mhm.
Right? So, which makes sense.
Yeah,
And,
is
like,
that not fair?
yeah, well, so, like, and they're like, oh, why don't you just, like, ask them? Or, like, why don't you just sort of, like,
Ask what?
you know, that's what I mean. It's like, why don't, but you should just be more confident and, like, ask them or sort of try and engage or, like, try and instigate it, right? And I'm like, if
Follow the wind.
I've, like,
Do I look like an instigator to you?
like, if I've been, like, around them this much time, like, and I've danced with them
Shouldn't
and
they be the ones showing responsibility, no, showing interest in you? Like, why does this guy just go one way?
that's what I mean. Like, so before I kind of I've, like, showed interest a bit and, like, danced with them or, like, danced closer to them or, you know, just sort of felt like I liked some of them and I, you know, tried to get to know them or, you know, like, sort of
Hey.
showed signals, like,
Like again, this is where I think clarity is really helpful. Like, if you just have like a vague level of interest, you can basically like still present that. Whereas like, I'm not sure how strongly I feel about you, but I'm wondering if it would be worth exploring this. Like again, extremely direct to the fucking
But-
point.
yeah, but that, like, but for me, it's like it feels like I haven't felt any kind of, like, mutual.
Well, at that
interest.
point, it doesn't matter. Like, of course you shouldn't.
So then, so that they like them
They're the
asking me
weirdos.
that, them asking me that question, like,
What would be?
like, no, it was kind of odd that, like, it was weird that they sort of
You
like
can ask it in the first place. Isaac.
assumed I should be doing it, or like,
Yeah, that's
like
what I mean.
they couldn't understand why I wasn't doing it already.
Yeah, it's like, hey, this is what your friend group does. Why don't you do that? Well,
Yeah,
you
but
do-
then it
you
kind of
don't-
it was this. It was kind of weird. My feeling to it though, it was almost like a compliment because in my head, it felt like they hadn't showed signals that they were interested in me, right?
Mhm.
But one of the group was like, "Why don't you join in?" So to some level, they must have thought that I could join in.
They respect you too much.
Like
Sorry,
they
yeah.
thought I could, like, be a part of it, right? Where
Mhm.
I thought they didn't want me part of it. So it was this kind of strange, like, backhanded compliment in a weird way. Like, oh, not really, but like a compliment and,
Who says there
like,
aren't benefits to a life of wonder?
Why haven't you done it yet? But
like, yeah,
you're
like an honest
you're
question.
clearly capable.
So I didn't really like, my only answer was that it felt like they didn't want me to join them. Like, I didn't feel that mutual interest. That was literally my only answer.
Hmm.
But it's like, then that's when they started saying things like, "Oh, you should be more confident and just, like, ask them and, like, just say, hey, do you like me?" Like, you know. But then that doesn't come out of
Isaac,
nowhere.
that's what I'm doing. I feel judged.
It's like that doesn't come out of nowhere. It's like you kind of
Yeah.
there has to be some level of, like, back and forth, so, like, in some way before that.
Chemistry isn't one way, yeah.
It's like I don't just walk up to everyone else, just like some strangers, like, hey. That's basically what they're asking me almost.
Yeah.
Like, I could just do the same
They're
to
telling
anybody.
you they're telling you to just develop that feeling out of the blue and then instigate.
As if, like, they're like the other person's, like, someone
As
not.
if that's something to aspire to. Like it doesn't make sense.
It's like, why? Yeah, it's like, why would I? why would I pursue somebody who I felt
It's such a
that
bitch.
they had like zero interest in me? Like, why would I do that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
It's just weird.
Tell that to them, not me. Jesus Christ.
I will next time.
Oh no. I've ruined your relationships now.
But now I'm like, some of these different clubs I go to, they have like different like the
The
main
clubs
reason I
you
go
go to are too sexy.
no, they're mostly just nightclubs.
Exactly.
With like back rooms. That are, like
Isaac, please, I can only get so hard.
yeah. They like so these different clubs. The main reason I go and enjoy it is because I can dance and I like dancing there.
Stop bragging, Jesus Christ.
But like the music at pretty much all of them is shit apart from the crossbreed one.
The
Like
music?
crossbreed, yeah, the music to like dance to, right?
Lameo.
It's like good at crossbreed, but everywhere else is kind of shit and boring.
Oh, boo-hoo, Isaac.
And like it's just like repetitive fucking techno. It's just like for like hours.
I thought that's what they had at Crossbreed.
No, they got
Isn't
good
that
music.
the place where they had that? I thought they had like that goddamn occult techno or whatever the fuck you called it.
No, that was another one.
Okay.
And so like in my head now, I'm thinking like, I don't really want to go to all these other ones that I've been to before. That other like my other friendship goes to because like
You're an
I don't
adult.
like the music. Yeah, I don't like the music, and the group doesn't seem to show like the same like physical like mutual interest in me.
Mm-hmm.
And the social area outside is kind of yeah, whatever. So it's like why fucking go? Like the main reason I go is just to dance. So like if the music's fucking shit,
Isaac,
I'm not gonna enjoy it.
why even go to dance? You can do that at home.
No, you can't.
Okay.
I
I've
like
clearly
so
misunderstood.
I like to dance and like show off my dancing.
Oh, you
So it's that
cocky
aspect of
little
showing off.
shit. And here
Yeah.
I thought you were like a cool, humble dude, and turns out you do it all for the coochie.
Yeah. It's more. It's like it's more that I like the dancing, but then it's like the cherry on the top is like the compliments. So it's more like it's like a.
It's not bad.
It keeps me kind of like knowing that I'm still doing good.
Like I have a weird relationship with that sort of environment. Like I don't like attention in general.
Hmm.
Like I just have like a certain level of social anxiety. Like how I
Yeah.
behaved when I was a kid was fucking insane. It's like somebody could walk past my room, like while I was building Legos, and I was like, if I just fucking heard them, it's like I would just turn around and like, get the fuck out of here! I'm building Legos. It's like, what the fuck is this level of performance
Get
anxiety?
in my room. I'm playing Minecraft. You're that
Yeah,
fucking
but
mean.
they weren't even in my room. Like they were
No.
just nearby, and I heard them. It's like, get the fuck
The
out!
floorboards creak. Get out.
Exactly. It's like you can't exist while I'm doing things. Okay, that's not fucking allowed. It's like
That's
it was
crazy. Like,
insane.
did you ever like how old were you? Like really little.
It lasted a while though, but it's like it trickled off over time, so I can't tell
Like,
like when it stopped.
did
I feel
you like share a room with your brother, or you had your own rooms?
yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Well, both. Like we split eventually. We can't wank in a bunk bed, Isaac. You're insane.
No, but like, so like, did that like when you were sharing with your brother, you felt more like were you wanting your own space, sort of thing?
No,
No.
I just like I was an insane kid. Okay, there's no fucking way
Okay.
around it. I'm surprised my parents didn't end up hating me. It was really bad. I
That's
hate
strange,
myself.
though.
Fucking, like, it was bad.
But like, you just
Like,
wanted to be by yourself all the time.
no,
That's my
no.
impression.
That's just it. Like, I somehow needed to have somebody around where the default state wasn't that I felt like I was being judged, I guess, but like I just assumed everybody just from mere existence judged me. So like,
Oh, okay.
I think I told you about this, but like
The
Like
penis.
the example of like me getting around this was me not getting around it at all. I think I told you about this, where I like my parents had to do something and was just like walking around the mall.
Hmm.
Or my parents knew where I was because I technically was too young to roam around. And like I just walked past a Lego store or a toy store where they had Legos, and just like I saw that they had Legos there, and I just wanted to build things. Like they just had it like out on a table, so I just like went over there and sat down and started building Legos. And then when I was finished, apparently it turned out to be a competition, and I built mine faster than anyone else. And then it's like, oh, congratulations! Like, wait, what the fuck?
Now
It's
you're
like,
showing off now.
it's like the only reason that fucking worked out in my favor was because I didn't realize I was in a competition and people were paying attention to me.
Yeah.
If that had happened, like it would have worked. Like it's so fucking stupid. And fuck, like because you were asking questions instead of me just like brushing past this, I can't remember what fucking point I was building up to. Fuck. I had weird social anxiety. I don't know what. Fuck. Do you remember what we transitioned from? Maybe that'll help.
Mm, like I liked dancing. I like dancing and kind of showing off.
You like showing off, yeah. Oh yeah, I have a weird relationship with this because I have that level of social anxiety that I have since I was little, and I had to like actively overcome it. Realize like most people don't pay attention, and even when they pay attention, they don't generally care. They're too busy with their own shit. And like when I'm in a lot of social interactions where there are a lot of people, I usually like to like get in zingers because I think they're funny, but it's not like I don't feed off of the energy of people laughing off of that shit.
Yeah, same.
But I don't like it's not like I've completely gotten rid of this social anxiety shit.
No, I mean, like for me, it's more the kind of
So I guess like the mundane point here is that there's risk and reward, and I'm still figuring it out. How much I want to risk versus how much reward I feel like I get.
yeah. I feel like it's like for me, it's like me like not perceiving things about me as like weaknesses, rather seeing them as like my personality or my tastes or whatever.
Mhm.
Like, like why, like not liking certain things or
But like, okay,
not.
how do I put this?
Yeah,
Well, yeah, that's true. But technically, these are weaknesses. It's just that it's completely fucking unreasonable to expect somebody not to have them. Is basically the conclusion to some of this shit. Where it's
yeah.
like, sure, you could be a fucking emotionally bulletproof war golem who can just wade through all this shit completely unfazed. But who the fuck? Literally, who? Who the
Yeah,
fuck are we
who's the
talking about?
yeah,
Do they exist? Are we fucking
yeah,
kidding me?
yeah. It's at least sort of knowing that they're there, sort of thing.
What
Kind
the
of
problem is
knowing.
there?
Not so much the problem, like say, like having a better understanding of more like how I like to have like how I
Time to go.
prefer my relationships to be, or progress, or start, or whatever. Like having that understanding
Who says there aren't benefits to a life
is
of
probably will help me sort of like get better at maybe like being
Living
able to progress relationships quicker, or like reading
makes it.
people better, or you know what I mean?
I think it makes it better at living.
Yeah.
It's life.
Live.
Live, you piece of shit. Live.
This is Frankenstein now.
Exactly. I'm trying to send an electric current your way. I'm not sure if I'm hitting anything.
It's like, well, like I don't think I'll ever
Zip zap zoopity pop.
like. I think did I ever tell you about the like family home videos my parents had of me and like my
Uh,
brother when we were like little?
Not in any more context than that, I think.
So it's like, so I like to be funny now. Like with all my friends, I always try to be like funny one and joke around and say stupid shit. Like,
But when you were
so
a
that,
kid,
so when I was a little kid, basically, what happened? Like you can almost like watch it happen. Where like
was it developed
I
or?
like develop that trait almost like, or you can see it in action when
Oh,
like I
beautiful.
couldn't even talk.
Yeah.
So what would happen? So it's like my parents were in like the living room, whatever, and it's just like me and my brother are kind of, I don't know, we're like running around or like jumping around
Mhm,
on the like sofas and stuff. Like we're just
mhm.
sort of playing, and like I like fall over backwards and like land on my bum, right? And like all the
Everyone is
adults
laughing,
laugh, yeah.
and so you do
And
it again.
so yeah, I just over and over and over, and like it's not funny, but what my parents find funny is that I'm actively repeating it over and over again to
Yeah,
try and get them
exactly.
to laugh. So like they're laughing at
Oh
like,
my god.
oh, oh, it's
I
like a
just
dog that's still
yeah,
learning to think or something, you
dude.
know.
I just saw a video that is like genuinely funny to me where there's a kid who has like a dinosaur hand puppet and she comes up from behind and starts putting that in her mother's face. And the
Mm.
mother just starts screaming pretty genuinely, and the kid starts laughing, and then she does it again. And then her mother screams again. She laughs again, and then she takes it off to show it's not really a dinosaur, it's my hand. And I was like, oh, thank God. I was like, that whole situation is like exactly what I love about my interactions with my niece. Whereas like I'm
Mm.
doing some stupid shit, or she tries to correct me, where it's like, oh, you don't say. Thank you for clarifying. It's like the fucking innocence can be like really fucking funny
Yeah,
where it's like everybody else is on this page, but they're not, and it's like it's endearing.
yeah. It's fucking weird.
Yeah, that was my
I'll carry
point.
you
And
away.
it was also fucking strange seeing like they have like baby videos like me and my brother at bath time, and it's like
Yeah,
me
dude.
naked. Like this
Yeah,
is illegal, isn't it? Like
I
it's me
said the
and like
same
I
shit.
own it, so it's like, can you make child porn of yourself? Like,
Dude, dude, I've talked about this before. Like, there's nothing in the law that stops this from being child porn. So every time I see it, I'm just like in cold sweat.
like, like why it's like it's video, it's not just pictures.
Yeah, yeah,
It's not just a
but
little.
that's also why I got really fucking frustrated with, for example, um, do you remember Call Me Carson getting like
Yeah,
rape allegation? Yeah, and it's like,
he's back now
well,
though. So,
yeah, yeah, but one of the people who like outed him, or however you want to phrase this, his
mm,
argument was that this is illegal and therefore we should be worried. And it's like, motherfucker, this law relies on people having the level of common sense that they don't just report people like willy nilly because there's like too much wiggle room and you're basically abusing this. And if you don't think that you are, you know what? Just report your mother. I guarantee she has you naked in a bathtub in one of her photos. Do you feel like
yeah,
sending her to fucking prison? No, exactly. Like, you fucking you have some extra consideration because this is incredibly serious. What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, I'm so annoyed by that shit. Holy fuck.
yeah,
As like a 17-year-old sent him like a nude or some shit was the context. And
yeah,
it's like,
yeah,
motherfucker, not only that, um, he could be inside her, but he can't take a photo of it. That's the level of law discrepancy we're working with. So,
yeah.
like, the fact that you're all like getting up and I was like, oh, but this shit is legal, motherfucker. I swear to God, I want to slap you. You have to have this level of common sense not to like throw people on the bus this way. Jesus fucking Christ.
Mm,
I was like, I don't think he understands that Carson's probably gonna have to like carry this for a long time. And it's like, it feels weird to make him the victim, but it causes trust issues. You have to trust people to like treat situations like this with a certain level of discretion and or understanding.
Mm.
And if you feel like you can't talk to people about things, because like technically it's not like they did a deep investigation and found this out. He outdid himself to them. Like he trusted them to be able to like take this information, whereas like he realized that this is a problem to some degree, but mostly it's not because he's a fucking pedophile. It's because he's talking to fans. So there's that power dynamic, and then they're just like, well, he's getting news from 17-year-olds, and federally, those are minors, so he's a pedophile. Jesus fucking Christ!
Yeah.
No.
It's like a 17-year-old woman sending a dirty picture to a 19-year-old boy. Like,
I like how she was a woman and he was a boy.
oh, okay, sorry, yeah, okay, that's weird. Like, girl and boy, what same thing? Yeah. Okay,
but
that
it's
is
like,
weird. That I would say it.
technically, like in the state that they were, she would be considered a woman. Like age of consent, 16.
Yeah.
It's like, God fucking.
And there's no
what
like.
a shit show.
Yeah, like, is that because you know in like a lot of places there's like laws about like position of authority regardless of like age if it's legal.
Sorry, repeat that.
Like you know in some places where it's like even if the age is legal, like a teacher sleeping with their student.
Yeah. Like there are extra laws. You also have the what the fuck was it
Surely
called
that
again?
wouldn't apply to Castle, but
Sorry,
it was
sorry,
like fans.
Sorry, give me a second. There's a, I think it's called the Romeo and Juliet law, where it can also go the other way, where if they're both fairly young, nothing's going to happen to them.
Yeah.
Because like there's no power dynamic, there's no abuse of power. They just got too horny, and they probably shouldn't, but still.
Yeah.
And whatever. There's not that much to discuss here. People have too many knee-jerk reactions, and it's okay. Wait, there is something to discuss here. So when these laws need to change because they're having consequences for the people they're trying to protect, it's fucking stupid. Two 16-year-olds who are too horny not to take like a celebratory pictures of themselves in bed where there's like tit hanging out shouldn't send them both to prison because of the distribution and taking pictures of child porn. It's fucking insane. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that was a topic in Euphoria, do you remember? Like,
Royal decree.
you have a picture of yourself naked. That is child porn. I can get you arrested because guess what? It doesn't protect minors. It's like, that's true. That's fucking insane, but that's true.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm sorry, that's too fucking insane. They can't. They need to change that fucking law.
Time to go.
Yeah.
So where do we go from here? Those are insane. You're welcome.
Like I feel better now,
You're welcome.
but then I don't want to like you to feel good about helping me because I feel like we should stay as like equals. So if me like thanking you like elevates you too high.
Yeah, you gotta keep me down, Isaac.
Yeah, I can't let you feel like you're like better than me.
But Isaac, that's only concern if I am better than you. So I guess I am.
No, but it's not. No, the concern is like you having that thought in your head that you're better than me.
Isaac, what's stopping me right now?
But then it's being like validated by me, which isn't allowed. Because then it's like it
but
can make it feel like it's true when it
it'll
isn't.
be like this conversation might be backfiring a little in that case.
Say again.
You don't think that this conversation would be backfiring a little in that case? Good talk.
Oh, like me
Okay.
explaining it has backfired. Yeah. Well, no, because
Because
I'm
you know that's
explaining.
the joke.
Yeah, well, it's like hypothetical. I'm not saying that I have thanked you, but it's like the reason I can't thank you,
yeah, of course, wink,
Feels icy.
even if it was true.
wink, wink.
But then I still don't know if like your answers seem right. Yeah, like it makes sense, the things you say. But then it's like,
But that's all according to my plan. I've been tricking you this whole time.
but then it's like relationship advice. But then you never. It doesn't seem like you ever talk about like your relationships.
That's because I don't have it.
Fire it up.
But then you say it like you have, or you have had relationships.
Yeah, you fucking think so, wouldn't you? No. I
So I should just
talk to
disregard
people.
everything you say
Okay.
now. Okay.
Oh, like almost like it's really fun. God, sorry. Like, there's like so many points here simultaneously, technically.
But then just one of like
people keep telling me that I'm smart, and it's really funny because I have like almost no experience with anything. I just seem to be really good at taking the few experiences that I do have and extrapolate that to a ridiculous degree, and like take other people's experiences in order to get an understanding of situations and get like a fuller picture.
and sometimes I feel like you
there's no
won't.
magic here, but
But sometimes I feel like you don't really like get what I'm feeling.
okay.
Like,
Then I'm clearly not as good as I thought.
well, no, like you're like more in the sense of maybe like because you need like more like clarification on things.
I
It's
try to be
more-
clear when I feel like I don't understand you, but the question
I
is
know,
whether
but then
we
it's- so
agree
you
on
might-
what I understand.
You might get it or have some sort of like parallel
Mhm.
sort of experience, but it's not sort of the same or like kind of. It's like you're not working from. It's like wisdom versus like knowledge sort of thing.
Yeah.
Not that it's like they can be both the same. It's just like an observation. Sort of thing.
Yeah, like I say, I don't feel like I have any real personal experience or,
Mm.
but I feel like I learn more lessons from the few experiences that I have.
Yeah. Maybe. Because like everyone I know, pretty much, or like most people I know, like if they say that like
Wind strider.
I'm like I overthink things or like I like
Yeah, well,
I'm
I
really
do
like,
too.
critically analyze everything and like I have to ask millions of questions. But then I feel like you're like way more than that than I am.
Yes, that's what. But Isaac, that's why I've learned so much from the few situations that I have. It's because I do overanalyze them. I take them to hell and back. Like I actually I associate this with my lack of sleep because I can't sleep. What else am I gonna do?
Yeah.
All I do is fucking think.
I think that probably.
So what do you think runs through
Yeah.
my head when I'm all alone lying in bed? All my mistakes, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, because like I don't. I used to have issues sleeping, or like when I do have issues sleeping, it's because I can't. Like, I'm thinking too much, or like I'm like going through something that I'm trying to figure out,
Mhm.
or like my sleep schedule got fucked because I like was doing something in order to like figure something out. You know what I mean? Like it's all my like issues with like sleep. It's all based on like trying like thinking things through or trying like spending time doing something to figure something out. So it's like I kind of get what you mean, but like now the degree to which like your problems like my sleep seems really nice compared to yours, but then like how
As I mean, I've said this shit before, but I'm like the more I reflect of it, the more serious I am. I'm surprised I'm not dead yet. When I look at like how I sleep, like I have a double dose of insomnia, where it both takes ages for me to actually fall asleep, and once I do, like I wake up repeatedly, and by the time I wake up, I can't have like more than 4 hours of actual sleep,
yeah
and and even though like I've had 4 hours, it's still been interrupted, which severely affected. I have no idea how the fuck I'm still alive. I have no idea how the fuck I have a functioning brain.
That's well, it's like what like if your highly functioning brain is like making you not sleep basically. So it's like just it's almost like it's like there is no
It's like,
solution almost.
um,
It's just how you are.
but like I've been trying to understand this shit, and I there's like one trait here that has me curious as to how that changes how I should perceive this, which is when I'm sick, I perform better because I get better sleep. So like if I could actively induce a fever in me, I might be better off.
Like, but what does sick do to you?
Like I'm talking about fever specifically.
Okay,
Like there are
like what does
different ways I
fever
could do.
do to you? Like you like shut your brain off, or is it like what does
No,
it
it doesn't
actually
really
like?
feel like that.
Like why does it make you sleep more?
It's because it makes me tired and sleepy.
Like, so like being ill just like drains your energy basically, or you kind of
Yeah, like
what's the like
technically that's
feeling?
all that's happening, but like I don't feel like I have any energy to drain. Is like the thing that makes it feel so weird. But it
Like
clearly helps with my sleep, and I feel like I have more energy. Like
I feel like experimenters with like not that you should do it, or that it's good to do it, or like that you should if it does work you should keep doing it, but like just like getting drunk
no,
or like
no, I can't do that.
or like shit like that. You know what I mean? Like
I mean, I have technically, and no, it doesn't work that way. Also, alcohol actually it helps people fall asleep, but it actually reduces the quality of sleep, which
yeah.
completely
What
backfires.
about like marijuana or something?
To be fair, I haven't tried that, but
But like, would you go to that length?
I
Do
might.
you think? Is it legal in
Like
Norway?
like
Probably
uh,
not.
like uh, yeah, I think it is.
Hmm.
I haven't checked, but
Should get like brownies,
yeah, exactly.
weed brownies. Just like eat one.
I just moved to Amsterdam and live in an alleyway for the rest of my life
Yeah.
as a high functioning insomniac. I don't know how the fuck to phrase this.
She's like the typical like crazy man in living in the out, like the homeless crazy guy. He's like talking about the world ending and like the governments of reptiles or something.
Dude, it'd be really funny if I was just like wandering the street, like fucking giving people therapy, just like, yeah, yeah, like solving other people's problems about life is just utter shit.
Yeah, like the
Like,
helpful homeless.
like I'm fucking Forrest Gump. I just sit down a bench with somebody and go full life as a box of chocolates and fix their problems, and I go right
Yeah,
back into my fucking alley.
yeah. Do you know, like just like another random thing, like so like how I don't laugh very much,
Uh huh. What?
and like
Oh
but
yeah.
then it seems like you laugh like even at your own jokes, like you laugh like like an insane amount. I think compared to like most people.
Wow. Okay.
Well, not
Um,
insane, but like a lot.
I I enjoy a good observation, even if it's coming from me. Like, I think I told you this, but I went to the what the fuck is it called again? The roast me subreddit,
Yeah.
and I realized that I didn't like it because everything has to have like a level of fuck you energy that isn't even funny to me. And what I'm actually after is like rare insults. Like I just want observations where it's like, I see it. That's fucking good.
Just like you laugh more when it's like clever observations.
Yeah, or like an unexpected perspective.
Like I had something where it's sort of like kind of like that, but it was like super It was like dumb and
Mhm.
like nonsense, like stupid and like funny. It was basically like a post of someone saying, "I like to
Oz, reveal.
like find like lost cat posters and then ring up the number on the lost cat poster
Okay.
and then and start like
Where the fuck is this
meowing
guy?
like meowing down the phone.
I'm like, Mama, I'm coming home.
Yeah, it's like it's the cat who's lost has like somehow managed to like pick up the phone and like ring,
It's
and
gonna
is
be
like
so
toying with
confusing.
them or like trying to get them to help them.
You're just trying to explain why you left in the first place. Meow,
Yeah.
meow, meow,
Oh,
meow, meow, meow.
but it's like, and also the perspective of like the person who does that. It's like they're just like evil, but like
Yeah.
evil in such a weird way.
It's such a goofy way that's like you
Yeah.
can't even take it seriously.
But like, imagine like, because I'm just scrolling on like
and that's
Instagram and
stupid
that
shit like that
appears.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, so that just appears. I'm like, read
Yes,
it
like,
as if it's like a news story, and I'm like,
Isaac,
I
this
just
is
couldn't
why.
stop laughing.
This is why I say that, like, surprise is like the foundation to all humor for me.
Yeah.
Um,
Same. Like, I
and
need
and, and
surprise.
and and surprise is like, in and of itself, such a joy that I
Yeah.
like it either way. Like,
Sure,
I guess novelty, but like, if you don't have like, a joke is never funnier the second time. But it's like technically, but if it is, the reason that is funny is because you don't expect them to keep like shoving out this
Yeah.
shitty fucking joke. Like that's why it becomes funny. Is because why are you committing so much to this horrible fucking joke? That's why it becomes
Yeah.
funny. So it's like
Yeah.
there's always an element of surprise and humor.
Because like, if
Sorry,
mm,
like this is just so closely related. I remember like people just say shit and it feels like they don't think about what they're saying. And like I got into stupid arguments because I decided to use Twitter again. And one of them was trying to explain like comedy to me or some shit, and it's like, oh, well, what is it like? Pain is the foundation of comedy, and then I just reply with, so what you're trying to tell me is that you've never laughed at something that wasn't like someone's expense. It's like it's such an absurd premise. Like, of course that isn't
Yeah.
true. Why the fuck would you say that? That's so stupid. Save everyone some time and dignity, and never talk again. Jesus Christ!
yeah, it's
Like,
like,
it's so demonstrably true. Like, how the fuck have you not observed it? Sorry, yeah.
yeah, well, like like in relation to surprises, but not really like jokes or anything. Like, I like to do a thing where like I keep surprises as like presents for people. So
Yeah,
like,
how does that work?
so the bigger the surprise, or the more interesting or like crazy it is, the like better it is as like a gift to somebody. So like, none of my family know I play piano.
So just like
So
sit down one Christmas and start playing,
so
and
it's
people are
like,
like, "What the
but
fuck?"
it's like I intentionally didn't tell them because it's like I feel like as a surprise, it will be more
Way funnier.
no, it'll be like
Come and go.
it'll like be more enjoyable for them
Yeah,
as a
of course.
surprise. So like,
I agree.
but I do that with loads of things. Like I try to like say I meet someone new and I'm like, I don't know, dating someone seriously or something, and like you just tell people about things you've done in your life and da da da. Like I kind of I like keeping surprises from them as like a way to like add more enjoyment to their life.
Okay.
But like I don't know if anyone else does that or if that's like a thing people think about.
I think they might have
But also
said
like
this,
building the surprise. So like you can
Yeah.
I've got a secret but I'm not gonna tell you. So it's
but
like,
like
ooh, surprise.
because of shit like this, I agree with you. Is I am extremely annoyed and frustrated with social norms. Like I actually wish like birthdays didn't exist. I feel like I wish the norm was that you just buy people presents whenever you think about them in front of something good. I wish that was like the standard with which we operated, because I don't like people having the expectation that you're supposed to receive something like one day a year, actually twice because of Christmas. Like you just completely lose the element of surprise, and you build an expectation. Like it's like two fucking birds with one stone.
Like,
You're like
you
double
wish-
fucking yourself.
It's like you wish gift giving was more sort of in the spirit of the
So,
idea.
like general.
Yeah. It was like a thing you could do that's like nice for someone. It's not like obligation.
Yeah.
Or it's like
And it's like,
fixed.
by the way,
Yeah.
I'm saying this with the awareness that the first person who would get fucked is me. Because I'm
No, I
bad at
think no
thinking about
one, no
people
one
on
buy
that
you
level.
presents.
No, I'm bad at
Bad at picking
keeping that
presents.
sort of shit in mind.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I was like, I think I told you this. Like, both my mom and my brother are actually really good at doing this, where they just like keep things in mind that I've said in passing, and suddenly, like, I have an extra pair of shoes and a jacket. Like, what the fuck did this come? I was like, oh, you told me that your windbreaker
Yeah.
was kind of shit, and that your shoes keep getting wet, so we got you some Gore-Tex shoes. And
Yeah.
I never even considered about solving my own problem myself, and you've already like gone
Yeah.
ahead and done it for me. Like,
That's what I've tried
like
to
my
do.
plan was just
yeah.
living with the.
Yeah. I think I've like, because I spent so much of my life being like that, where I was like, I wasn't selfish. I was just like oblivious. I was like just sort of. It's hard to describe because there's no like maliciousness behind it, but it's like the idea of like doing something for someone else. It's almost like because I got no enjoyment from it, there was no point doing it.
I think part of the problem is that's something that actually needs to be. First of all, you need to have the opportunity to do that. And when I was growing up, my parents bought all the presents and put our names on it. So, like,
Yeah.
I never got that responsibility. Second of all, it needs to be nurtured. Like, people actually need to have a good response to receiving the gift. Otherwise, it's not going to be repeated. So I had a double dose of both. I barely ever did it, and a few times I did, it didn't pay off. So I'm a terrible gift giver. Actually, like, I need to talk to my brother and actually tell him that I've genuinely appreciated the times that he's given me gifts, because I don't feel like that's like registered at an appropriate level.
Because there is also the element of like people like giving the gift. It's like,
Yeah, but like again, like
you know,
it's
their
because
enjoyment is more giving it rather than
no,
they're
like
being thanked for it.
you can reduce almost everything about people down to habits. Their habit of gift giving has been nurtured early enough on to that they'll keep on doing it. Developing that habit later is way fucking harder. But if you get that shit early, like, you can be a naturally giving person. And
Yeah.
I think you actually operate with a lower threshold for the level of like appreciation you need to receive in order to keep trying to give people gifts.
Do you think it?
And so
Do you think it
I'm really bad when it comes to gifts, but when it comes to shit, I forgot my point.
like advice or helping people? Like if they ask for it, I don't know. Is that your point?
It feels close, but that doesn't feel. I'm back. No, I've forgotten. Okay, doesn't matter. What's on your mind?
I was going to say.
I hope it's valuable.
What were we just talking about? I've forgotten.
Gift giving, being good at it.
Oh yeah, like, do you think if you had a more like regular schedule at which you saw somebody, it'd be easier to like keep that in mind? Like, to say like you're definitely know you're going to see this person tomorrow, then it's like, say you see some nice like food or something they'd like, you can buy it. But like if you don't know when you're going to see them again, there's no point buying them food because it might go off by the time you see them. So it's like,
I'm not entirely sure what you're asking.
the more time and exposure and like regular occurrences that you see a person, it's like the more likely you are
Yeah, but
to
it's not
keep
like
them
I
in your
haven't had this-
mind for like gift giving sort of thing.
I'm
And like,
really,
because
like,
say
I
like
have
you,
people around me on a regular basis, and like I'm not sure what you're asking.
well, it's just meant like, say like, how often do you see your brother?
Well, like the point is sort of like that.
Follow the
I've interacted with them in the past, and I went, "Oh shit, fuck."
Oh, but then it's also like getting a gift for someone. Like the reason it's a gift is because you think it's like beneficial to them. But like
Yeah,
if you don't know or interact with them in a way in which you're like seeing difficulties they have or issues they have, or like you don't know enough about what they're doing currently in their life, it's like
yeah. But the problem is that
hard to
like
buy the gift.
they clearly had the ability to do that for me, so I feel like it should be reciprocal. And one of the options is that they've simply not given me the information required for me to make a decision like that. But that seems unlikely to me. So the more likely option is that they've said some shit to me that's actually been actionable, and I haven't been able to do that. But
Yeah.
on the other hand, I do people favors all the god. Oh yeah, that was going to be my point. This expectation of appreciation, or sorry, like a return on what you're doing. Like when you give a gift, you should get a pretty big thank you or some shit like that. I do people favors all the fucking time, and I don't even have the expectation of thanks. Like it almost doesn't matter to me. Like I know whether or not I'm doing the right thing, and it's like it's really fun because my brother's like trying to tell me and show me that he appreciates me. I was like, okay, I gotta go. It's like it just fucking like
Yeah.
I did what I came to do. I'm fulfilled by. Like, I feel like I need to change my attitude because I feel guilty as to how he's reacting because he feels dismissive.
Yeah. I can't get what you mean. Like, what was I gonna say? Like, that's kind of my like how I've tried to like act, like where I try to do things like selflessly, like or like give to people like benefit, like make their lives
Yeah,
better
but like
without expecting
that's
them to
sort of my
give back.
point. Like, yeah, like that's the part that is selfless. Like, if you do things without any expectation of any return of any
Yeah,
kind, not even thanks. Like, that's what
yeah.
that's the
That's kind of
worthless and selflessness.
yeah. So that's kind of what I've tried, because that's even almost like the main message almost in like my silver screen show. Like at the end, it's kind of the part of the ending is about like selfless acts are like treasures in a sense.
Pointless.
Like no, it's like selfless acts people have done for you
Mhm.
are like they have no ego attached to them from your point, or like there's no kind of misinterpretation of them in a sense of like, say you have a memory of like someone doing something selfless for you. It's not like you can't really taint those memories in a way. Like,
Sure, you can. I should have done more in return. There you go. I ruined immediately.
no, but that's what it's like. But it doesn't. It doesn't
sorry,
like.
sorry. It's like the way you got fostered was just really funny. It's like, yeah.
But then they're like.
Are they like?
It's not because it's like your action is irrelevant. And
Thanks,
there's
Isaac.
no. It's like. Yeah, well, it's more the fact that it's like someone has chosen, has like been willing to do something selfless for you. That it's like they're there. There wasn't. It wasn't. They weren't treating you like they want something from you, and that they weren't like trying to like convince you or make you like do something, or like you weren't sort of judged on like you do this, you have to like do that and whatever. It's pure like they want to like improve your life without any kind of like expectation of like you having to live up to some sort of reciprocal thing.
Mhm.
So So then the point of that is it's like when you realize that, it's like you doing selfless acts for other people can like give the other like these other people that like feeling as well of like that you are worth someone like giving something to you without expecting you to give something back. So that's why I've tried to do that more like in my life, just kind of like if I can do something selfless for somebody or like just do anything for anybody that makes their life better, it's like I'll pretty much do it regardless of
The fortune slip was right.
expecting anything. Or like even there's no opportunity for them really to give me anything back of
Isaac,
equal value.
you're giving it up for free.
It's like pretty much anyone who's asked me like, can you help me move? And it's like, because I can like rent a van
Yeah,
very
Dave.
easily and drive a yeah. They even went on holiday and helped someone move house. Like,
Well, you know, when in Rome.
so that's the thing.
But like, I think I told you about this. Like, I don't even see that as a negative situation. Like,
No, exactly.
it's like it's an excuse for us to get together. Like, that's basically how I view it. Like, I don't see it as negative in any way.
Because it's like,
It's
Like,
the
what
alternative
was the
is that
outcome?
like the alternative is that what you're busy and I can't see you. Like,
What do you mean?
He would have to move either way. I might as well, like, he
Yeah.
might as well spend the time with me while he's moving. Like,
But
I
also,
like spending time
what-
with him either way. Like, that's the
like
point.
what's the outcome of like
The
helping him move?
alternative is he does it alone and then I'll do something pointless.
It's like
and-
it's like
yeah.
like he does it alone, cost him loads of money, loads of time, and it's like, so what's the outcome? It's like he gets like loads of help, and like his life is easier now, and then like what's the downside for me? Like nothing, basically.
Yeah.
And it's like I can enjoy knowing. Well, even if I don't like, it might be physical work or whatever, but it's like, it's just like purely giving someone like a benefit, basically.
Mhm.
Um,
And then
yeah.
we can even give them a free hand job on top of that and slap them in the asses leave.
I always enjoy the hand jobs, so that's a bit selfish.
The hand jobs are for me.
Yeah. That's my you know.
That's what I get.
Yeah.
Sorry, just imagine this fucking situation. Like,
Even
okay,
if they don't want
I was like,
okay.
they're just like, I'm gonna need you to help me to move and give me a free hand job to boot. And I was like, okay, but what do I get out of this?
Yeah.
Like, they just do double things. I'm sorry, I think you misunderstand who's getting the better end of this deal.
Yeah.
It's so stupid. Right, like that's like the perfect example for me. Like, who the fuck acts this way? It's like it's such a stupid premise. It's hilarious. It's surprising. I love it.
I need to write that down. Like,
Hmm?
because like I still, when I'm trying to explain like the benefit of like doing selfless acts for people, I still find it hard to like articulate what I'm trying to say.
Well, Isaac, I'm the guy to talk to. I'm basically double jointed. I'm pretty articulate.
Basically, because what I'm trying to say was like selfless acts are like something like if they're done for you, it's like there's no like negative thing attached to it in any way. And then that
When you say you mean yourself.
like, so if like I do a selfless act for you, like
Me.
there's no like, all you can get from that is like that I sort of like almost like acknowledge, like I want to help you without any kind of you needing to return any sort of favor or anything. It's like I just want your life to be better.
Mhm.
So I've helped you. So like the fact that someone has chosen to do that for you is like
Follow the wind.
kind of
Beautiful,
a
Isaac.
it's like a it's like something you can always kind of have, or like it's
The implication that you're worth the effort is really
yeah,
touching and valuable.
it's like a it's like proof of like the
I love
like
Isaac.
yeah, it's more like it's like definite proof that like someone cares about your existence basically.
Thanks, Isaac.
Um,
I
and
was
so
worried about
like
that part.
right, so it's like and so because you realize that it's like it's always there to kind of like I don't know the word, not inspire you, but like kind of
Yes, inspire.
help you like get through things, I guess maybe, or like
Yeah, inspire.
yeah, well, so and so the fact that now that you know that like selfless acts sort of someone else does for you sort of gives you that sort of foundational like um sense of like well-being or like self-worth or self I don't know,
Loathing.
whatever you want. Yeah. Like you doing it for other people can like make their life better as well.
Yes, that's how it
So that
works.
that's kind of the logic I'm trying to get across. It's like so you can
You
sort
silly
of
little bitch.
you can like improve the world by like doing selfless acts basically. Because it like the goal is for it to almost be like a knock-on effect where like I do selfless acts for you, and then that makes you realize that they're like how good they are, so then you do them for someone else, and so like everyone is like constantly being selfless with each other.
That sounds like hell.
It's like articulating that idea in a way where it's like getting the selfless things for you inspires you to give them to other people,
Sure.
which is like yeah. What were we talking about?
Too complicated for me.
Like,
Me big brain.
yeah, I don't know what we were talking about before, like this selfless stuff.
I don't know, you've just been going on for hours, Isaac. It's really
Yeah.
tiring. I wish you
Yeah.
stop.
Okay. Well, I was going to help you move house, but I won't now.
I said, oh, shit. So much for those selfless acts.
Hmm.
Man, you sure showed me.
Yeah.
Don't get too close.
I don't know what we're talking about. Hmm.
I'm just distracted by how hungry I am, but I'm committed not to eat. Why the fuck is this game playing Sims music?
Time to go.
What the fuck is happening?
I just don't listen to it because it's just like me echoing, like me hearing
Yeah, of
me and
course you
you
wouldn't.
over and over.
Yeah. you at least don't need a double dose of me, Jesus.
For some reason, I like hearing my own voice, though.
Fucking narcissist. You're
It's,
gonna be
it's,
the
weird,
only
it's like,
person I know.
I don't know why I like hearing it. It's like,
But it's like last time you heard the fucking recording of you on the stream, you were just like, man, I sound stupid.
that's what I think. I feel like I come across normally in real life as like very like nerdy and like I sound like a smart ass. But then
Uh-huh.
when I listen to myself, like actually listen to myself, I sound like I'm kind of like an idiot who's kind of like stumbling across the right answers.
Dude, that's life.
So it's like I sound like I want to be smart, but I'm not. That's what it sounds like.
And that has nothing to do with your voice and everything to do with your attitude.
I think it's like both. Yeah, I guess it's like I'm just sort of very nonchalant about like
Because the alternative is
deep
that
topics, I guess.
you like your voice, but how you sound is.
Yeah. Because I think, and also I think I'm quite a calm person. So then I think my voice is quite calm. But then almost maybe too calm to the point that I just always seem like bored or like disinterested.
Yeah, but the thing that's funny about that is that that is the direction I'm trying to take my voice. I need, like,
What, like bored and disinterested, or like
kind
calm?
of like come on, relaxed, but you know,
Mm.
the byproduct is the one that you're pointing to.
So you're saying my voice is better than yours?
Yes.
I
What an achievement, Isaac. Put that on your resume.
don't think I could even try and do like an impression of you.
You have to go full Mickey Mouse, Isaac. Jesus.
Yeah, it's like
Go
talk
ahead.
really fast.
Go
Like
ahead.
I don't think I can do like a fake laugh, like to match the like intensity of your laugh. You know what I mean? No. I'm saying that like your laugh is fake. I'm saying that like me, because I don't laugh very much. It's like putting on a laugh. I don't think I could do it to where it sounds genuine, as if I'm like you laughing at my own jokes.
Do it anyway.
No, I'll just
You
pretend you're
lazy
like a
cunt.
YouTube influencer. Like, hey guys, today.
Today, I'm making my friend laugh by telling him to
Yeah.
do an impression of me, and I always laugh. Thereby
I got-
making me the
yeah.
victor.
I've got an absolutely crazy video. Make sure you watch to the end. And buy my fucking t-shirts
Um.
on my fucking website.
Yeah, that's definitely me, Isaac. You nailed me down. You nailed me to the
England is
cross.
my city.
You pinned me. You pinned me down. You fucked my ass with that one, Isaac. I don't appreciate it.
No.
I wish you were less precise with your language.
I feel like you're playing up to like the stream. Like you're trying to be more like edgy. Like talking about getting fucked in the ass and stuff. But you're trying to be funny.
I'm sorry. Have we not had these conversations before?
Yeah, but it's just I don't know. Maybe like I'm trying to like understand like it's not like it's not just your personality. It's like you're just trying for the camera. So maybe if I'm hopeful, like you'll
Isaac,
stop
of course it
talking
can't
about
be my personality. I don't fucking have one.
well, you could do a sleep stream, but like because you don't actually sleep, it could be really funny.
Hilarious, Isaac. Fuck you, okay? I have a condition. I can't believe you're turning this into jokes.
Like do donations, but do it like different experimental drugs to like help you sleep. It's like one
a
shot of
sleep
whiskey.
stream. I'm just staring at the camera on the fucking ceiling.
Yeah.
Tears is streaming down my face because I
You-
can't.
You do like a drug roulette. You're like weed brownie, and then like fucking like MDMA or
Mixing
something.
drugs sound like a great fucking idea. Like I don't want to sleep forever.
Because most
I
like
want to wake up by the end, Isaac. Hopefully.
because most drugs like give you sort of like a rush and a high. I think so. Like finding ones that like chill you out.
A Russian high?
Rush or and a high.
Okay.
Rush and a high.
I was like, that's a very specific kind of high. I'm gonna need you to
Yeah.
explain that one to
Russian
me.
high. It's cold. Yeah. Totalitarian.
That's the only difference is when you get high in the cold.
Russia's cold. Yeah, you just get chills. You just get like shivers.
Just like the Russian mafia. It's just the mafia, but they're cold.
Yeah, it's in big coats. They're just in.
It's three mafia in a trench coat because they're
It's
cold.
like no matter where they are, they're like sort of like in full like.
At least intimidating mafia. They're always fucking shaking, gathering to listen here, buddy. And we go fucking money.
Like they're always like sort of kind of big coats, gloves, rubbing their hands together, like holding their
It's the
hands
dirt.
over like a heater or something, or like a trash can fire, no matter where they are. Yeah.
You're just describing the fucking homeless, Isaac. That's racist.
So that's why I tried to move it away from homeless
That's
and have like an
racist.
electric heater, not like a trash can fire.
I'm sorry.
Quite hot walls.
This is definitely not a first world problem, so it's
It's like,
gotta
oh shit, it's the
default to the
Russian
homeless.
mafia, and they're just like shivering in the corner.
You shout the Russian mafia and everyone looks versus a bunch of homeless people.
They're just like bums.
It's the least intimidating people you've ever seen. If you're like, I think you misunderstood.
Or it's
The
like,
action Russian Mafia shows up and starts trying to beat us up because we're sullying the
or
good
it's like
name.
you keep getting confused. It's like you like some guys like in Russia, and he's like, oh shit, it's the mafia, and they're always like, you know, hovering over trash can fires and shivering, and then he like moves to America. And he just like goes down the alleyway, and there's just like a bunch of bums, and he's like, oh shit, it's the Russian
Shit, they're
mafia.
after me.
They found me.
Back at it again.
How did you find me? And they're like, what?
They're like, yet, not us. That's when you know he was right all along.
Yeah. It's like this whole city is full of Russian mafia.
So
Fucking
stupid.
homeless.
Like doing the double bluff where it turned out that they were the Russian mafia all along.
Yeah.
Everybody else had it. Why do I like shit like that? It's so stupid.
Triple bluff. Quadruple bluff.
Ha! We tricked you. We're actually Italian mafia. Bippity boop.
It's like you know the scene in Anchorman where like the different news stations sort of like fight each other. It's like that.
It's like,
And,
I've
like the
only
Russian
seen
mafia refuses to like move away from the trash can fire. They just stand there. They're always like fighting around it.
This is our turf.
Yeah. Too cold over there. You come to us.
We'll keep you warm.
Yeah.
And then you realize why they're poor because they're just throwing dollar bills in.
Yeah.
So stupid. I laugh at this.
Great film. We should make it.
Why would I need to? I've got it in
So
my head
wanna-
already.
I still want to make the like comedy Batman idea I had.
It's so fucking dumb.
That's so good. Fucking love it.
Like I just feel like it's a good premise, but I want to talk to people and actually milk it for more ideas. Like the reason that I like it is that how do I put this? Like it kind of feels like in my head it kind of feels like The Office, where it's just a dude who's on set at a
Yeah.
at like a bootleg Batman series film set.
Yeah. That is it, basically.
As like and like all the characters are fucking ape shit. Everything is like crumbling because of the lack of funding.
Yeah.
It's like, but it's like I still want the characters to like actually be grounded and like not completely off the handle, which is why I like The Office,
Yeah.
because you have like. What the fuck was it worse? Like Schitt's Creek, where everybody's like, you can't fucking empathize with anyone because everybody's just fucking assholes, and it's like
Yeah.
to the point where it just stops being funny even, and then it's like, well, congratulations, it's the worst of both worlds. I don't care, and I really don't care.
Yeah. I still like. I keep trying to. I think I've written it all down, but I'm trying to remember. Like the scarecrow
I mean,
is like actually sort of like tied onto like a wooden cross,
dude,
like a
I was
scarecrow.
about to say the scarecrow is an actual scarecrow. It's like they keep cutting to him and he's not giving you any lines. It's like, how the fuck? And then it like cuts to Batman. He's just like, how the fuck am I supposed to play off of this where there's nobody there to play off of? It's a literal scarecrow. Why the
Because I'm thinking like it's like a scarecrow. So it's like he's on like a wooden cross, you know, like the scarecrows. They're sort of like like two like sticks. So like he's stuck like that, so he
Wait,
can't like
two
bend
sticks?
over. So you know, like you have a scarecrow, like a sort of big sort of puppet thing, and you like have two
one
wooden
upright and
sticks.
one
You kind of
across. Is
yeah.
that what you mean? Okay, sorry.
So, like,
for some reason I
the
felt like he
scarecrow
was on
villain.
two sticks.
no, yeah. The villain is like tied up like that, so he can't move, right?
They just keep
And
fighting with him.
And
It's
he,
like,
and he
"Hey,
has
get
like
away
yeah,
from me."
he has like henchmen sort of wheeling him around everywhere, and like they can't sort of get him in the door. And
His
like,
henchmen are Amish.
yeah, like, his henchmen are like farmers. They keep like
It's like,
moving about.
it's just like he's afraid of blowing his cover because he's using like chemical technology to like manipulate people. And it's like he's afraid they'll find out. So he has to be careful not to blow his cover.
Yeah,
Like a stupid.
just like Robin changes actor every different shot. That's my
Yeah, that's probably both our favorite ones. Where like something like in one dude, I also like the idea of him like fighting Robin for some reason doing this. Like during
Yeah.
one shot, like it's a big black man who just fucking smacks him across the head. Then when it cuts back, is like Batman takes a swing and completely misses because suddenly it's like he's shrunken down as like a 4-year-old kid.
Yeah.
The shit's happening.
Yeah.
It's just a complete fucking
It's like
mess.
Robin, squeeze through this vent and like unlock the door from the inside. It's like his little boy's like, sure, Batman, and then like next shot, it's like a massive fat
He's
guy.
stuck in there again.
Yeah.
It's like it's just absolute chaos.
Yeah.
But it's like it's played out like Batman is actually experiencing this. Like, what the?
Yeah. I was
It's
like, Batman,
it's
like,
I was like, okay, cut. It's like we're gonna keep rolling this. Just cut to the next. No, we don't need it. Cut to the next. No, fuck. Why are you an old woman? Cut. It's like, wait,
Yeah.
who are you?
it's like they're in the Batmobile, and Batman tells Robin like, press the like ejector seat button, and it's like an old
Yeah.
lady who can't see anything. Which is
Sorry,
like,
oh yeah. I'm so
Which
sorry,
button?
dude. I just really like this idea of like they're at a really important point, and it's like okay, this is the Batman. This is the Robin that I want. And it's like Batman just fucking grabs the camera, it's like you're not going in, you're fucking staying.
yeah, that's a good idea. It's like single take that like forces it to be single take.
yeah, exactly. I was like, but it's like it's so fucking shaky. You can't fucking tell what's going on. It's like you're not going anywhere. It's like he's actually like arguing with the cameraman. It's like it just escalates the chaos to such a level where it's like it suddenly starts like panning out over the director and the producers. Like, what are you doing? Stop! No, you're hurting the cameras. This is absolute shit.
I like the one where you've got like Robin's like Batman says like Robin chase that guy, and it's like down an alleyway. It's like different shots he's changing, and then like the last shot is like it's like a car in like a massive Robin outfit, and it's like the car is like driving.
Inanimate objects here.
Yeah, so like or like he's like fighting a guy, and then like he's doing like he's jumping down on someone from above, but he's like a massive like vase in like a Robin outfit, and like smashes over the guy's head.
As you do.
It's just like out of fucking nowhere. It's just like this kind of crazy shit. Well, or like my favorite one is when they're in the diner and like Robin's. What was it like? No, like like they're supposed to both be wearing like disguises, you know, like their fake mustache and glasses and nose and stuff.
Oh, the groucho glasses, yeah.
Yeah, and like
He just becomes the groucho glasses.
yeah, like Batman says like oh Robin, you look like put it back on, you look pretty. You actually look pretty ugly, and like in that shot, it's like the actor who plays Batman is like the Robin.
Fucking Isaac, you just turned this into a fucking Pumscott sketch.
Yeah.
And here you're like, I can't believe you like Pumscott. You're fucking got the exact same humor, son of a bitch. How dare you?
Or it's like the nose is white, and then
But
like it's like no
wait,
like 12-year-old boy would have a mustache, but then it's like a black guy with like a white nose. It's like oh that's better without the mustache.
I was like, I'll never see him coming.
And it's like a 40-year-old black guy with a mustache, but he has a white nose.
But
Smile to my face.
didn't I give you that fucking Tumskull sketch where it's like, do it like this? It's like, sorry, do it like me, and then like he's directing somebody, and he says, "Do it like me," and then the actor becomes him, and then he says it just like that.
Yeah, maybe.
It's so
guess
fucking
so.
stupid. I love that shit.
Yeah.
I think part of the problem is that he goes so fast that some of the jokes don't have time to like properly register. You don't get to appreciate them enough. It's like it's already on to the next fucking joke by the time that you register the first one. It's like it fucks with my the pacing for me at least anyway.
Like I've tried watching his stuff. It's like I never really laugh at it. Yeah. He seems a bit too like
Oh no, like
forced.
no, I get it. I was like, it's funny when you're the one coming up with the exact same idea.
Yeah. Because the way I'd shoot it would be better.
Yeah,
My timing would be better. Just would be.
it just would be.
Just would be.
It is I, Isaac F. Woodby. A big great fucking name. I can't believe you're not called that. Fucking wanker. You hear me, Isaac?
Too much.
How come you haven't gone to bed yet, you maniac?
Just a bit.
I would have gone to bed like 4 hours ago.
Yeah, like the discussion was good. So.
Oh, it's a discussion now, huh? I thought it was just a
Well, it was more
conversation between fans.
Like, I was just thinking about all that stupid shit all day, and it's like,
You wouldn't have been able to sleep anyway.
or like
Like,
getting it out, or like making sure that like I got it all out, if you know what I mean.
okay. You
Like
did, Isaac.
emptying the
It's all over
bucket.
my face.
All over your face.
How does
No.
that make you feel?
You're a dirty bitch.
Well, I wasn't before you got it out.
Oi.
Right. Why is everything so homoerotic with you, Isaac, huh? Get your shit together. Can't believe you've done this.
You always start this fucking shit.
That's the joke.
Yeah,
There it is.
I think I might go to bed now, though.
Yeah,
I'm a
I'm
little bit
considering
tired.
the same.
It's like my eyes are kind of like closing on their own.
Hey, thanks for joining me, Isaac. I got a lot of genshin done.
Did you?
The fortune
Yeah.
is right.
I made fucking
You-
progress now.
You did
Like,
pause it a lot, but
yeah, well,
I'm
I could have
disappointed.
not and just fumbled through everything and pretend I heard you,
Yeah.
but
maybe. Might have made me feel better.
you're welcome. I hope this bitch either replies or just fucking consider
Yeah,
a
I'm
dump
kind
already.
of. Yeah, I'm sort of.
Add ask.
I'll probably linger for a while. If she replies, that's good. I think like I'll be in a better position. I think
Yeah.
to like talk to her about. It. Or if
Closure's
she
always
doesn't,
good.
yeah. Or if she doesn't reply, it's like
Fuck, you didn't
it
like
just
me
won't.
enough.
I still feel a bit shit for a while, but then I'll forget about it next week or whatever.
Hmm.
Hopefully.
Oh, was this
Or
the one, Isaac?
there'll be another problem with some other woman. I don't know. That comes up to fucking distract me.
Isaac, there's always a problem, and there's always another woman.
Yeah, too many fish in the sea.
And you're trying to fuck all of them.
Not anymore. Trying to have
Get
a
fucked.
comfortable emotional connection with them now.
That's gay shit I never heard, Isaac. It's not political.
What? But like, how would I even go about like? How do you look for someone who likes to like talk all day about stupid shit? Like, what do you even write? Just write
Trial
that in
and
your
error.
fucking profile.
No, it's like. I mean, you can try, but chances are people are just gonna lie. It's like, or people
Yeah.
don't even know like what they want or how they are.
Or it's like
It's
their
like- it's-
version of
it's
it.
just-
Yeah.
It's just yeah, exactly. Like it's just gonna be trial and error no matter what. Like the only thing you really can do is like up the frequency to a ridiculous degree. We're trying to date 5 people in one day, see how far you get, and then leave
Yeah.
London because you've run out of women.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess. Or like you can sort of like, usually like nerds like to talk about shit all the time. So focus on nerds, I guess.
Honestly, completely seriously, try to find like scientists.
Hmm. Yeah.
Like
I'll just go to a lab and just walk
like
in. Hello.
this whole stereotype that they're boring has like never been the case in my experience. So,
No. That was someone I saw for a while.
but
It
it's
was
like
like,
it
yeah.
requires a certain type of thinking, and I think it actually applies here. Anyway, sorry I interrupted you.
But it's, yeah, someone I was seeing for a bit, and it was like they were like actually a scientist, and they like sci-fi and things. But
Was that a good combo? No.
I think.
I mean, okay, it's not a guarantee. Let's put it that.
Yeah, I think. Well, it was, but I think they would rather talk about other things. Like they weren't, but like they seem like the person who just talk more of like they talk as like a way to feel
Okay,
comfortable.
I mean,
like
but like,
nervous talking. Like they're always nervous, so they always have to keep
how to put
talking.
this? Like, were they
Like
a
silence
student?
makes them scream.
Were they? That's also possible. Were they a student? A somebody practices it, or were they a teacher? Because I actually think that the teachers are the most likely to fit the Venn diagram, because they'll know their shit, but they have to have a certain level of ability to effectively communicate. But there's also a chance that they'll be fucking jaded and a complete opposite of what you want.
Well, because I'm like almost, I'm going to be doing this like teaching assistant type job thing. I might be meeting lots of teachers soon, so I'll work my way through the entire school system.
Like, sorry, like when I say teacher, I mean like professor, like at the university, because it has to be like at a higher level.
But then, there might be a like Walter White, who's like a genius, but then he works at just some like local high school.
Well, you know what? If you find someone that can cook meth, at least you're set for life.
Yeah, there you go.
And I don't think monetarily. At least you have a non-stop supply.
Like set for life in prison. That was what I mean.
They'll take care of you.
Yeah. Like, yeah, you don't have to worry about bills or food or anything.
Sorry, I just really like the idea. I was like, I'm set for life. I got all the meth I could ever need. It's like, you're buying a sign, you're fucking keeping it.
Darling, make me another pound of meth, please. Okay.
Is that what's for dinner?
Yeah. God.
Interesting relationship.
Oh, right. Bye.
Do you think blue meth is
try and
better for your
sleep.
teeth?
Huh?
Do you think blue meth is better for your teeth? Because it's the same color as toothpaste.
Yeah, that's how it works. I wonder if drug addicts just like
Drugs like drug addicts.
like their teeth are bad because they just like stop giving a shit about brushing their teeth, or like the drugs make their teeth bad.
Like, sorry, meth teeth is like a thing. It's because of
But not just meth
like,
teeth, like for drugs and stuff.
Like, yeah, but like specifically for meth, like it's bad for a reason. Like there probably are druggies who just like fucking give up. Like, I mean, some of them are fucking homeless. I think that's the issue there.
Yeah. Like this.
Like they probably don't even have a toothbrush. Of course they're gonna have bad teeth. Like, what do you want?
I've seen like people snort on like Breaking Bad. There's like people snort meth, but like is that the normal way people take meth? I don't even know. Because it's a crystal, but then they like melt it, like inject it maybe.
Isn't it like technically the same as cocaine?
That's what I think. It's like you kind of melt it on the like you see the like hot spoon, they melt it and then inject it.
Crack crystals and shit.
Yeah, it's like crystal. So like what the crystal is, they do something with the crystal. But like, you see the people like snort it, some of them, but then.
Yeah, I mean, you can do that with a lot of drugs if you turn up the fine part of it.
Probably just it feels better like injecting it. Maybe.
Like people snort like pills and shit. It's just not like a good idea, but people do it.
Yeah.
Like I'd be careful about putting things directly into your vascular system. It is almost the same as injecting it. Like you're using the what's it called? Like the thin membrane in your nostrils in order to absorb it faster. It's a bit risky, but whatever. Do you think there's people who take crystal meth rectally and just fucking it up, putting it in my butts?
How does it like get in? Like,
but in the ass,
no, like
unclench. It's not that
no, like from there, like into your blood, like. Is it like it's just like dissolve?
Like, where are we at, Isaac? We've mentioned so many
in the arse. So like, say you put meth up your ass, like, what happened? Like,
same thing happens to everything else. Like Isaac, the intestines are made to absorb thing into your bloodstream.
Okay. But no, but
like,
it's like
that's what it's there for.
What, like, so is it like a membrane? It like gets absorbed, basically.
Yes, like there is a lot of blood that goes directly to your intestines simply because like that's where all the nutrients gets absorbed. It's also where Blood Goes to Die.
Blood Goes to Die. It's
Yeah.
an album. Sounds like an album cover. Like it's like an album name.
It sounds like a song more than anything. I'm not sure an album is.
It's like trying to be funny. Like Blood Goes to Die, and the song's just about your ass. So.
This comedy gold. Who
You smell
laughs at
like
this?
where
I'm
blood
so
goes to
fucking-
die.
What are we talking about, Isaac?
We're talking about asses and shit and drugs.
Yes. It all makes perfect sense, Isaac. Shut up. Haven't
Okay,
I been
bye.
clear?
Good night. Tired.
Ooh, what's in
Don't you
here?
understand intestines now, though? I'm confused. Like I don't know.
Yeah, it's too late now. I'm just not.
Okay.
Because all
Good
I
night,
think,
then.
all I ever think about is dick up ass. So I don't think about.
Try
Dick
complaining about
getting
me
absorbed.
turning everything homoerotic. I can't believe this shit.
Yeah.
And that's
Okay.
when you go, I have sex with one man and suddenly I'm a homosexual.
10 men and suddenly I'm gay.
It's like, just because I suck dick for a living doesn't mean I enjoy
Yeah.
it. What the fuck is happening here?
Yeah, he sucked my dick. I didn't suck his dick.
One with nature.
That makes you gay. No! That makes you gay because you
Because you liked
enjoyed
it.
it. Exactly. You
didn't
forced
stop
him, like
it.
you're the one in
Yeah.
control.
You didn't stop him, so you must be gay. Alright.
That's probably how it works, yeah.
Bye.
Good night, Isaac.
Bye.
Bye. Definitely time for bed. Good night.